He did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Well, good morning. Oh, good morning, Chris. It's a little empty in here. What the heck? What's going on? Where is Jason W. Ross? Out there? He's looking. Oh, is this thing on? Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Free.
Hey, I love it. This is kind of a first with your remote broadcasting. You have, look at that nice fences, if you will. You got the backyard.
Dazzled, Dave.
You have. I'm dazzled.
Are you dazzled? Are you?
I am. I love this. Is this so you can? Is this so you can smoke outside? I get it. I see where you're going.
2 at a time, baby. 2 at a time.
Well, Jason Ross is pulling what we like to call in this business a Carmichael Dave, where he goes on vacation and then comes back for a day to make an appearance and then goes and, well, I guess the difference is Jason's still working. Although if I remember right, I think when I did this in February, I can't remember. I feel like I worked one day remote and then just, that was because I was sick and then I was out, but well, I'll yield the floor to you to explain as much or as little as you would like to as to why you're on remote, including but not limited to you just felt like being on remote today. That's fine.
No, I'd much rather be in studio hanging with you guys, right? Some more fun to be there to see you, to see Nicolas Cage in the background, Lake Long, De'Aaron Fox. You know, all the regulars.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. The 916 under Nicolas Cage's eye. I've never seen that.
Wait, hey, I just gotta say, that's pretty cool. Good for our art department for doing that.
Yeah. Our art staff is very proud. But no, I came home and my only son, our son who we've been trying to protect the most from any kind of sickness because he is very immune compromised. Unfortunately, is sick, and many people have had COVID over the years, and he's positive. So far so good. Everything's going just fine. But since I was around you guys yesterday, I don't even know what the rules are anymore, Dave. But it's like, well, we've got equipment. Let's just. I know I don't want to give anything to you or to Chris or anybody else. So
no,
I don't know that I have anything. My wife and I right now are negative, but I feel like I'm sounding a little bit nasally today, which doesn't make me feel good. But whatever, we'll see.
Let's see, Chris, does he sound? I just popped in there, Chris, so I don't have the delay. Am I messing with the broadcast at all?
No.
Okay. I don't think Jason sounds nasally. Do you?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris can detect. Yeah.
Well, from somebody who's always nasally, maybe I can't tell. Okay, good. Well, I don't mean good, but good.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, obviously, look, we're all, we are all, as the kids say, we are all J-Man stands. We stand for the J-Man. So obviously that is couldn't be more important than our stupid little sports show. So I said it to you privately, and I'll say it publicly. Obviously, family first, and good to be with you.
Hey, good to be with you.
And hopefully, and I appreciate that. Look, this is a weird time, man. This is weird and unprecedented. And yes, I have, as somebody who's had 2 bouts, maybe 3, depending on that first one in February of 2020, which we'll never know. I don't want it. So I know it's always a tough call, right? Because you want to be there, you want to be with everyone. You feel like we're all trained that you're letting people down or you're not doing your job. There's just some weird thing in our heads that we need to get rid of. But that whether you're here or whether you're there, the fact that you're with us is great. And if for some reason, God forbid, knock on wood, but if you start getting symptomatic later and you need your bed rest. And you know what? Chris and I did the show last week on our own. We can do the show this week on our own. We don't even need you, Jason.
You just never know when something might hit me. I might get a dance bug. So you just never know.
Oh, hey. Okay. Well, other than that, how was your evening?
Pretty good. Watched some basketball. I'm trying to think. I saw a couple more tributes to the great Bill Walton yesterday. Actually, it's been a good time looking at quite a few of those. I know you said the story from Mike Green yesterday. You read his excerpts, but I saw him ask about that and watch the video of that and a few other things. And it was. Can't get me enough of Bill Walton. He's just been someone important to me, one of a kind, and I just love the outpouring and just the different stories all kind of revolve around the same common thread, how generous and unique of a person he was. I'm glad he's getting his shine because he deserves that for sure. And for those that didn't know him, I think now they're getting enlightened that, wow, this guy was pretty special.
And we've talked about this before, as sad and upsetting as it is. By the way, Chris, Ryan and a couple others are saying I don't hear an echo at all, but they're saying it's a delayed phone sound on Jason. That's what Ryan says.
I got it.
You got it? Okay. We've said this before so many times, Jason, that as upsetting as it is and sad when somebody passes, especially somebody, that we knew a little bit, that was so alive and gregarious each and every day. If there is an upside, it's that person is celebrated and a whole new generation and world, maybe that didn't know much about Bill Walton, get to experience that. I saw the Breen thing you were talking about, and seeing him tell the story as opposed to me reading it is so much better. And you're right. One note I had for you on that, I got I don't know, it was middle of the afternoon. My phone rang, and it was our friend Mark Jones. I hadn't talked to Mark since the season, and he was in the middle of, he just finished, a Mark Jones workout or whatever in Miami, and is going to be coming out here in the next month. And we were just checking in, and then I asked him, I said, Mark, I know this is just a dumb question. I apologize, but I can't remember off the top of my head. You've done broadcasts with Bill Walton before, right? And he was like, let me tell you. And then, just for maybe the next 20 minutes, he told so many different anecdotes on his experiences with Bill, with working with him, both on and off the air. And we're going to bring him on at some point this summer to kind of, during that conversation, we'll obviously have him throw back to those, because they're too good to not share publicly, if you will. But it's just amazing. And I'm sure you experienced this yesterday, the amount of people that enjoyed sharing with each other, us and others. Everybody has a Bill Walton story, it seems, in this business.
Absolutely. And that's great. I love that. And I love that he's getting that, like I said, that shine, that education for some that didn't know about him, and the others that did, just reiterating how unique and special he was. That I was really appreciative of that yesterday.
No, absolutely. So we'll have more conversations on that. It won't be limited to just yesterday. And unfortunately I did not get a chance to watch the 30 for 30, but it was an educated decision, because it was a busy night last night, and then tonight tonight is so my daughter, as you know, is like Miss Band Leader, been in there forever. My son, despite his my son is not a natural band guy, but there's these classes called VAPA, I think, and you're required to take XYZ. I think I explained this before. He wanted to do like photography or yearbook, but all the kids immediately go into those. So all that was left was like drama, choir, and band. And he didn't want any part of choir or drama. So he picked band. So he plays clarinet, which is abjectly hilarious watching him clarinetting around. And so tonight is the combined school band's end of year recital, which is hilarious because his older sister is technically in charge of him at which doesn't go over well all the time. So she bosses him around anyways, but tonight's the big event. So there was rehearsal last night, and I actually want to watch it with them, So maybe we'll do it this weekend and just kind of, especially my son who knows about Bill. It's funny. I asked him, did you know Bill Walton? And he went right into his UCLA years. He would have loved that. His first, yeah, my son is becoming really a weird NBA savant. I think it's a combination of his collector's cards. Weirdly enough, I caught him last night. He was playing one of those his NBA game he plays, and I generally don't pay attention, but I stopped and looked, and because I heard big dunk from LaSalle Thompson. I went, wait, I went, huh? And that's right. And so I started watching, and it was like on the floor was like LaSalle Thompson, Mark Olberding, Otis Thorpe, Reggie, and I realized he was playing the 85 version of the Sacramento Kings.
Nice.
And what's kind of cool about those games, because they're time wasters and mind benders, but what they do, at least in my son's case, is that they have all their actual historical stats. So he can now speak educatedly to a point, not only about that roster, but, Mark Olberding's great on rebounding, and Otis Thorpe was a guy that he's got the best jumping ability. LaSalle Thompson's a guy who blocks shots, and, this kid was not a speck of sand on a beach back when those happened. But anyways, that's a long way of me saying that we didn't watch the 30 for 30.
Good for him though.
Yeah. And we'll bring him in for his yearly visit sometime later this summer. We'll have to come up with some you're always great at coming up with some sort of content. We'll bring him in on a Friday and let him do Friday Fun and Games with us.
Oh, that'd be good.
I would actually prefer that. What would be hilarious? Don't do this because he won't do it. But how funny would that be if that's the day we did hit the post?
Him and Chris Watkins. Chris dreads it.
Just have Mason versus Chris Watkins hitting the post. Actually, what would be funny sometime is that this would be hilarious. Have Chris Watkins and my son facing each other like they do in those player videos, telling each other dad jokes to see the first one that would laugh. Because honestly, it might go 4 hours. It could go 4 hours with nobody laughing. We have a big, giant show for you today. As always, we got a lot to cover. Big news, obviously. The Minnesota Timberwolves have kept their season alive with a win last night. Also, big changes in the world of baseball and a conversation around that as they're about to adjust their stats. We've got a heavyweight bout rematch set for December and a lot more to get through as well, including a big night for Caitlin Clark. It's Jason. It's Chris. I'm Carmichael Dave. It's the morning show. Sit back, relax, buckle your seatbelts. Oh, and Brooks and Dunn tickets, by the way, that we'll be giving away a little bit later on as well. We'll be right back with Leading Off next.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip-Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Washington will inbound. Doncic is spinning. Rebound inside. Washington. Irving back to Washington. Triple. No. Doncic in there. Knocked away. Minnesota was running. Still alive. Eye with elimination. And Minnesota wins at 105-100. We'll see you in Minneapolis.
How pissed off for Charles Barkley and friends. They got to go back to Minneapolis. They thought their season was over, as they won't obviously carry on to the finals. Maybe not. Maybe they love everything so much. But my guess is deep down inside they're going, oh God, we got to fly to Minnie now. We were going to go home. But hey, whatever. They get paid a lot of money. I don't feel sorry for them.
Yeah, they get to keep working together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So let's keep the opportunities for that. More basketball for us. We could have had the sweep. And either way, I think I had read, Dave, that it was the finals were going to be June 5th or 6th, no matter what. So ton of rest coming up for Boston. These guys will have a little bit less. I mean, it's still going to end in 5, or we could see if this thing goes for a little longer.
Well, Minnesota, this very much looked like it could be an Indiana-Boston situation where, Minnesota was leading most of this game. Then you saw Dallas come on, tie it up, take a brief lead. And I got to tell you, even with the game seemingly in hand, Jason, I don't know if you felt this way. When Luka Doncic hit that three-pointer and got fouled, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Are you right? Are you serious? Is this happening? And yeah, it didn't.
Right.
But
that was an incredible play, an incredible shot. I'm not even certain that was a foul, but it didn't matter. They were able to hang on and still win that game.
I have no idea how that was a foul. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm glad it didn't make a difference ultimately, because watching the replay, I have no idea what the foul was, Jason. Can you make any argument that I missed?
No, because I questioned it just like you did. I mean, where's the foul? I mean, Edwards kind of questioned it. A few other guys questioned it, and they let it go. And the fact that he made it was a miracle. And then he missed the free throw.
I know, right? Yeah. 28, 15, and 10 for Doncic in 41 minutes, 16 for Kyrie Irving. Here's the problem. They were 13 of a combined 39. 13 of 39, 5 of 17 from beyond the arc. And in fact, 13 of their combined, 44 points came at the free throw line. But in the end, not only did Anthony Edwards finally step up, he was just an assist shy of a triple-double, 29, 10, and 9. But story of the game, Karl Anthony Towns, after getting raked over the coals, and for good reason. Maybe he does take 1,500 shots every day, Jason.
Maybe, but I know you went through Luka's numbers, but Dave, have you seen Marvin Bagley's second jump?
I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I was just meandering along on a Wednesday. I didn't. That's one of those things.
Never forget the second jump.
It's
like that dunk in the summer league in the California Classic.
Oh, and Mo Wagner. Oh,
yeah. He's less Wagner now.
That's like if we're walking down the street together and you're like kind of behind me, and all of a sudden you do the thing where when I pick up my right foot to walk and you kind of kick it and I trip over myself just out of the blue.
Let's kick it.
Thank you, Sean Salisbury. We're always
kick it.
Cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
Jeez.
This is big news right here because for the first time ever, the more than 2,000 players who played in the Negro Leagues will forever be a part of Major League Baseball history. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred saying this initiative is focused on ensuring that future generations of fans have access to the statistics and milestones of all those who made the Negro Leagues possible. Their accomplishments on the field will be a gateway to broader learning about this triumph in American history.
With Negro League statistics now added to Major League historical record, Major League Baseball's history can be told in a broader, more complete picture.
Now, an updated version of the Major League database will be made public before the Cardinals-Giants play a tribute game to the Negro Leagues next month. But this means that Josh Gibson could be the greatest catcher and one of the greatest players of all time.
Well, that came out yesterday. I know it had been bandied about. But just so people understand, we'll have a broader conversation on this at 7 a.m. to kind of lay it out there. There is no more statistically important sport than baseball. But no sport relies on numbers and records and history more than Major League Baseball. So what's basically happening, for those who don't quite understand, is that the the numbers accumulated in the Negro Leagues are now going to be merged in. And in some cases, that means that players that played only in the Negro Leagues, their numbers will merge in. But also you're going to have guys, like Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, with negligible differences in their numbers. For example, Willie Mays, I think, hit one home run in the Negro League. So instead of everyone knows Willie Mays 660. Well, that would be Willie Mays 661. I think Aaron hit 5. I was looking at some numbers yesterday. But Josh Gibson, for example, is now your all-time leader in career batting average, single season average, and I think OPS and one other thing as well. Yeah. So there will be a lot of yelling and screaming about this, and some of it's going to be for reasons you and I already know, and some of it, look, is just going to be, honestly, baseball historians having questions about this.
Yeah, in a sport that, like you said it perfectly, that's statistics kind of tell the story, but how incomplete was the story?
Right.
And so now you had a fraction of baseball that wasn't even counted, and now that it's going to be implemented, I'm glad it is. Kind of makes the question why now, but that's okay. It's better late than never. And then, I think I saw some people writing about it, the irony that Gibson's going to go ahead of someone like Ty Cobb, who is kind of notably one of the most racist people out there.
Yes.
It's unfortunate he wasn't alive, I guess, to experience it.
I wish he was.
Exactly. But at least I'll say this, baseball is doing the right thing, and that's good.
I agree with you. They are. Yes, I wish Cobb was alive. I would love nothing more. I don't know anything about his family, but if they were anything like him, have him put out a statement. That'd just be lovely. But we'll have a conversation about it. For full stop, I think it's the right thing to do. Secondly, if you know anything about the Negro Leagues, if you've looked back, for those saying, well, hold on a second. I mean, you're putting this basically this minor league in there. I mean, it's not fair. Dude, there are a lot of people that will straight up say the Negro Leagues would have kicked the you-know-what out of Major League Baseball had they played each other in a playoff/World Series. Just the level of play was at worst equal to Major League Baseball. And a lot of historians that know what the hell they're talking about are like, actually, the Negro Leagues were better than Major League Baseball. I do think it's worth a conversation. And again, Jason, we'll do this at 7 a.m., which is, does this set a precedent now?
Right.
And not in a bad way, but just simply, does the NBA look at adding ABA? Does the NFL look at what are they doing with other league stats? Obviously not the XFL or anything, but is there a thought that maybe you throw USFL in there? And some of them are going to be silly sounding. And obviously ABA and USFL, none of those were based on people not being able to play because of the color of their skin. It is apples and oranges, but it does make you wonder if other leagues are going to start looking at this as well.
For sure, and hopefully that opened up some attention on, like you said, on other leagues.
Cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
Manuel Oliver Palermo scores the contest 115 to 112 for Usyk. Craig Metcalf scores it 114, 113 for Fury. Mike Fitzgerald has it 114, 113 to the winner by split decision from Ukraine, Alexander Usyk. He's done it! Now, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
First undisputed 4 belts title holder. I believe first undisputed since Lennox Lewis, as a matter of fact. So that was Usyk beating Tyson Fury. Fury's first loss. I watched that fight. It was a fun fight, Jason. It was a throwback, good old fashioned heavyweight. It was just a really, really fun fight to watch.
Good with the decision?
The only problem I had with the decision was that it was a split. Now it was a close fight on the cards. But just mathematically close. Usyk won the fight, and 98% of other fighters the ref would have stopped the fight. I forget, it might have been round 8. I can't remember the round off the top of my head, but Tyson Fury was completely out on his feet. He was staggering. He actually didn't even go down, and I thought the ref had stopped the fight at one point, but he basically just kind of called it a knockdown. gave Fury the opportunity to recover, which I think was the right move. I do think refs should adjust for big title fights. They should take the history of the fighter into account. There's a big difference between if the three of us were in there out on our feet and a guy like Tyson Fury, undefeated, and this is for the undisputed title. So I was fine with the fight going on. It was a 10-8. You could argue a 10-7 round. I think 10-8 was the right call. It shouldn't have been a split decision. It should have been a unanimous 2, maybe 3 round decision for Usyk. But now this is what's great. Automatic rematch clause regardless of who won. So now you get Fury, who's going to, you would hope, go to some mountain in Russia, grow a beard, run from the KGB, do all the Rocky IV things.
Start the montage.
Yes, and whereas Rocky had his fight Christmas Day in Russia, this fight will be December 21st in Saudi Arabia, a slightly different climate than Moscow in Christmas time, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy to say this is one fight I'll happily pay for. So.
And what was it, December?
December 21st, Saudi Arabia.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. We will take
remote.
Yes. We are live from Saudi Arabia. Brought to you by, well, actually, you'd have to be really careful with the sponsor. Hey, much like us, no beer or alcohol sponsors. We can handle that. Brought to you by UpsizeMatters.com.
Hey.
Why not? Why not? Why not? We'll take a break. When we come back, the Wolves stay alive. We'll have breakdown audio, all that fun stuff for you. Coming up right after this.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Save big this Memorial Day at Lowe's. Right now, save on 1.5-gallon annual hanging baskets. Get 2 for just $20. Plus, buy one, get one 50% off. Select interior and exterior paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these deals before they're gone because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 5/29. Hanging baskets in-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Paint. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. While supplies last.
DQ presents how to enjoy the 3 best cookies at the same time. First, grab the new Ultimate Cookie Blizzard from DQ. Then dig into Oreo, Chips Ahoy, and Nutter Butter. And last but not least, repeat! Because the new Ultimate Cookie Blizzard packs all 3 into one powerhouse of a treat. So you can enjoy the best cookie trifecta in every red spoonful. Hurry in for a taste today. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. N6324.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family.
Take my hand, let me make you mine. Paige Dasha, did your boots start working?
Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by
Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves stayed alive. Will they make it? Do the unthinkable? We'll talk about that a little bit later, where they could try to become the first team to come back from a 3-0 series deficit. Remember Boston last year? They were down 3-0 to the Miami Heat, won the next 3, forced a Game 7, got it back home, thinking they could be the first team to ever do it. Didn't do it. Lost Game 7. Miami moved on to the finals, ultimately lost to Denver. So we do know we're going to have a new champ. We've got some new teams in there, new teams in the West in the final conference finals. I believe if we had this right, I remember before I went on vacation last week when Dave and I were talking about it, I thought there were 4 teams out of the 15 in the West that had not made the conference finals in the last 10 to 11 years. And now that Minnesota has, I think it's down to 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's just Portland. No, not Portland. It's Utah, New Orleans, and the Kings.
What?
Yeah, exactly, Chris. We got to get the Kings in that spot, and hopefully as soon as next year. It's all very possible. Let's see, from our YouTube, J. Ross looks like he's about to shoot a DIY video on gardening. Oh, yeah, Mr. Green Thumb. That's me. I am in the backyard, though, today. It's beautiful out here. It's a lovely day. Chris, I love that it gets daylight earlier now and later.
Oh,
you got a lot of daylight.
I get just like a sliver on my way driving in.
Yeah, it's changing almost by the day, depending on which time I actually get out of the house to get to the station. But before it's almost always dark, and it's like, okay, it's a little bit lighter. It's just getting lighter, and then by the time I get there and park, and you're like, hey, it's almost to the point where it's daylight. But right now, it's what, 6:30? Good daylight out. Should be a good day. I think in the maybe 90 degree today or so. Comfortable, right? Too hot for you, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, too hot for you. Well, we are going to be talking about the Timberwolves here. As you know, as we said at the top of the show, working from home. Dave is in studio, allegedly.
He didn't tell you?
No.
He said that he texted you that he couldn't do this segment, that it was just going to be us two, and that you were fine with it.
Oh, I didn't know that. There we go. Do me a favor. Need you and Chris to do the next segment on the Wolves. I'll make it short. Just have a fairly... Oh, okay, got it. Won't read the rest of part of that. Okay. Well, no, I'm glad I now know that.
He told me that he's just like, oh, yeah, he's good with it, so...
Yeah, I just didn't see the text. I took a break here in the last break. Well, there we go. Okay, now we're good. Do you have some audio back? Because I'm flying kind of blind here. Do you have any audio? Because it's listed on our rundown that we have some audio from yesterday's game.
We do. Let's get started with what got things really excited, that big, huge alley-oop. If it plays.
Yes.
From 3, he and Doncic are combined now for 28. Edwards lost it. Doncic the other way. Hold on, here it comes. And through it goes.
The great Kevin Harlan on the call. Stan Van Gundy as well. And Minnesota, watching this series has reminded me actually a little bit of the Indiana-Boston series, where Indiana had a chance basically in every game and just couldn't complete the deal. And then Boston would find a way to finish strong. And it really started with game 1, where Indiana should have won that first game in Boston, lost it in overtime, and I felt lost their chance to win a series. And you never end a series in game 1, but when you're the underdog, and that dramatic of an underdog, you just kind of needed everything to go right. And I think you needed to set a tone by winning game 1, rely on your great home court. Well, Boston won that game. Then they started to win games 3 and 4 the same way, in which, Indiana has the lead late, but Boston out executes them. In this series, it's been very similar. Minnesota's had the lead a bunch in this series, a bunch of the games, and just hasn't been able to close out games. And last night was going down that same road for the Timberwolves, which they had to feel anxious and nervous about that because, look, they didn't want the same result to happen, and then all of a sudden they get swept in what would have been a very competitive series, like I said, much like Boston and Indiana. But Minnesota found a way. Kind of the guy that's been poked at here the last couple of days is Karl Anthony Towns. He had 5 points at half. They had foul trouble all over the first half, with their 3 best players getting 3 fouls in Edwards, Towns, and certainly Gobert. So they stayed close at halftime, which I thought was important. Like the final 2.5 minutes, all 3 guys were on the bench, and that was a critical stretch for the T-Wolves. And then, of the first half, I'm saying. And then after that, they kind of found their groove, built a lead, and this time they were able to hang on. And if we got a little bit more, Chris, maybe a deciding basket here or a key basket late from the T-Wolves.
Edwards rushing his way in, and Doncic will meet him. 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Towns, 3, another one. He couldn't buy one in game 3, and now he can't miss from distance. 4 of 4 from 3 for Towns.
Shot making. That's the difference, right? We've seen it from Luka. We've seen it from Kyrie, but really from Luka in this series. And yesterday it was Karl Anthony Towns saving his best for the end of the game when they needed him most, where he hasn't been enough this postseason for them, and he helps them stay alive. I thought his game was big. His 4 threes in that fourth quarter, and Minnesota hangs on to win 105-100. They needed all of everybody to contribute. Edwards was good again. He was aggressive, took 25 shots, 29 points. We mentioned Towns 25, all starters in double figures, just enough from the bench. And, they did a good job. They kept Kyrie in check, which I thought was important in this game. And, Luka still did his thing, but, wasn't completely out of control in the sense, 28, 15, and 10 is a pretty special triple-double, but you've seen him play better, and he didn't shoot as efficiently, 7 of 21. And so here's a day where Minnesota just needed to stay alive, create some opportunity, some belief, and, put some doubt in Dallas. Dallas knows that all 3 of the previous games could have gone the other way, and so they're still up comfortably, 3-1. Minnesota's going home. You just want to make this as interesting as possible. And the reality of sports, you don't play for this, but what can happen at times is an injury. What if something were to happen to a key player to Dallas in the more games you play? And so then all of a sudden the opportunities change for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm glad we have more basketball. I really don't have a preference. I think Dave and I talked about this before. I don't know what Kings fans have a preference. I could see them being anti-Luka, rooting for maybe Minnesota more because that's maybe more fits the mold of the Kings as a team that hasn't done it. You might root for them. That's fine. And then Boston's got, more championships than anybody, but tied with the Lakers at 17 each. So we'll see who we ultimately get. Dallas still in the driver's seat, up 3-1. And we'll see if they're able to close the deal on the road in Minnesota, even after winning those first 2 games against the T-Wolves. All right, we do have more show coming up. We will have Dave back. When we come back, we got to get into Safer Out. There's some more baseball conversation today. We will have that throughout the show. We also will talk about a little bit more on the NBA draft and the prospects for the Kings. We'll take a look today at who they might take at 13 and Jacoby Walter, a shooting guard from Baylor. That's coming up later in the show. What to watch, celebrity birthdays, all that and more. But when we come back, Safer Out. That is straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
It's a toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. But one of the quirky things about the A's record so far is the way the A's have played a third of the way into the season against the National League. Yes, they haven't played the Phillies or the Dodgers or the Giants, but still, the A's are 10-5 against the senior circuit, minus 16 against the American League. And speaking of the Dodgers, they come to the Coliseum the first weekend in August.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
We are fortunate in Northern California to have weather that allows us to play golf year-round. On the other hand, that's a lot of time to be exposed to the sun's harmful rays. So just remember to apply the sunscreen. Experts say that SPF 30 blocks 97% of the UVB rays that cause sunburn, and you should apply sunscreen at least every 2 hours. So put it on before you play and reapply at the turn. Apply it evenly and thoroughly. When you use a spray, don't step into the spray because you won't be putting it on evenly. We all tend to get our arms, legs, and face, but make sure you apply to your ears, neck, hands, and scalp, and don't forget the backs of your knees. And make sure you check the expiration date. Experts also say the sunscreen that works is the sunscreen that you actually are going to put on your skin. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Continue here on the show. It is time for safe or out. We got 3 different comments, whether we kind of go around debate whether or not it's safe to the comment or out. Very simple, baseball related. And Christopher Laud, fire away.
MLB is adding the Negro League stats to the official record books. Safe or out? This is the right thing to do.
Safe. It's the right thing to do.
Safe.
Safe. Or as Angel Hernandez would say, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe out, safe. I don't know. You pick. You decide.
Did you see the thing? There were a bunch of things on social media yesterday that were killing me about Angel Hernandez. Did you see the one where it showed him signing his retirement papers and they had a signature line with his name printed underneath? You know, you'd sign a contract and he signed it at like the top right of the page. There was an Angel Hernandez selfie that he took and all you could see was like his eye. It was just, you know, because he doesn't know the strike zone. Anyways.
Speaking of that, did you see the Will Clark story on Angel Hernandez?
No. No. Did he do one? Was that with
Eric Burns?
Eric Burns?
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to play it. I'm just going to guess without having seen it. There's some colorful language.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Jason,
By Burns?
This is right. This is safe. It is the right thing to do. Look, you know, you always this is obviously a very touchy subject. It's very charged. I don't think that it necessarily should be. This is a time period, not to preach or lecture, but we all know this. This is a time period. Literally, you could not play baseball with other people that were white because you were black. Like, straight up. You weren't. This is like, you know, the drinking fountains and the soda counter and like all the crazy racism we had back then. They had to have a separate league with God knows what. For if you ever read stories on the Negro Leagues and how they traveled, the barnstorming, not that major league players had their own planes, don't get me wrong, but much different pay scales, much different lifestyle. because of the color of their skin. Now, again, I can understand just from a pure logic standpoint, some baseball nerds out there is like, well, hold on a second, though. That was that league. This is this league. Why should Josh Gibson's numbers be put up against, what you said, Ty Cobb, Jason, exactly, or anyone else in Major Leagues? Because the Negro Leagues were at worst on par with Major League Baseball, and in many historians' opinions, better than Major League Baseball. And a lot of that's reflected by the way you saw guys like Willie Mays and Hank Aaron go from the Negro Leagues to Major League Baseball and absolutely destroy it. So, yeah, it's righting a wrong. It's bringing things together. And, yeah, if that means that Josh Gibson is now the career and season batting average leader, then, is what it is. I'm fine with it.
We can adjust. It's the right thing to do. It did happen. It's part of our history. It needs to be counted as part of our history, and I'm glad it's been done. I wonder why it took so long, but, hey, better late than never for sure. Safe.
Number 2, please.
The Giants shut out the league best Phillies over 10 innings and have a chance to sweep them today. Safe or out? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hey, credit where credit's due. I am not a Farhan Zaidi fan. I don't really? Yeah.
Far on from it.
Far on from being a fan. I don't like the moves. I don't like the minor leagues. I don't like the way the team is being built. And I wasn't a huge fan of the way they spend money and how they spend money. This was, basically in the end, Zaidi just went to Scott Boras and was like, all right, who do you have as a free agent? Let's bring him in. That being said, Bob Melvin's a great manager, and what's happening apparently right now, if you put on your orange and black sunglasses, is that Bob Melvin needed some time, new manager, new roster, basically, to get everything together, feel out his strengths and his weaknesses. And let's be honest, man, not only is this team incredibly hot, you can say, okay, well, they weren't playing these superstar teams. Well, guess what? They're playing the best team in baseball right now. And not only do they have a chance to sweep them, but they shut them out, Jason, over 10 innings yesterday. They were able not only to shut out the Phillies, but also former Giant Zach Wheeler, who went 6 innings to shut out ball too. This was just a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, except a new version of the pitcher's duel, because the Giants went with an opener who pitched just 1 inning and then had a bunch of guys come in and do their work, including Spencer Howard, who had the bulk, 4 innings of shutout ball in there as well. That's just good old-fashioned baseball, man. They won the game. They're looking for a sweep. Full credit to the Giants. They're on fire right now.
And it feels like there's still a little bit left potentially in the tank, right? We know that Blake Snell hasn't been what they pictured as a former 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and being injured or late to the party and then being out on leave. So if they could get him implemented back into what they're doing right now, that might be the best version of the Giants, which to me has been better than I thought it would be. I mean, I thought when they were struggling, they might be a little bit better. I didn't see them being, winners of 10 of 12 like they are now. And one of the losses was when Logan Webb pitched an absolute gem and they blew it late. So, sometimes you just keep riding a hot streak, and if that's what it is, go for it.
Didn't a famous philosopher once say, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains?
I do believe someone said that.
I think someone said
Very
that
famous.
too. 8 of 10. They won 2 in a row. Go for the sweep against the Phillies today. They are 5.5 back of the Dodgers. They are tied with the San Diego Padres for second place in the NL West, and they are sitting there with the Padres and the Braves, who they're 4 back, right there in the wild card spot, which means I would have to pay Olden Polynice $100. So cut number 3, please, or question 3.
The Padres' Jeremiah Estrada has struck out 13 straight batters. Safe or out? This is right up there with the consecutive game home run streak.
Jason, we've had fun this year with trying to compare streaks, like hitting streaks. Yu Darvish's shutout inning streak that was in the 20s. A home run streak, hitting a home run in I think 7 straight games. Who was it for the Red Sox that had that earlier this year? And then now you've got Jeremiah Estrada has struck out 13 straight batters. Not 13 batters, 13 consecutive batters. That's pretty cool for a guy that was bouncing around AAA earlier this year. I would say safe because it's consecutive, this is right up there with some really impressive streaks.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, to strike out the side is fairly rare. So then you did it multiple times. You've had a streak no matter what you're going against that you keep striking guys out. That's awesome work. 13 in a row. That's very, very impressive. That's safe.
That is safe, as are we safe, and almost ready for a break. Wow, we flew through that. We got 5 minutes.
We did.
Is that right? Do we have 5 minutes?
We can stretch our legs.
Let's see. We've got 5 minutes of airtime to talk about whatever we want. Chris, how you doing?
Okay.
Okay, back to you.
I saw the rest, or I'm trying to get through Dune 2 because we watched it, but I fell asleep up at the cabin, and I started rewatching it, and I don't have. Has anyone seen the Dunes? Any of you at all?
Yeah.
Chris, you saw them both?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I like Dune 2 a lot more than Dune 1.
Okay, so do they bring a lot of this stuff together in Dune 2? Like
the one Dave fell asleep in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was less the movie's fault.
Like I think the first Dune was like, here's your vegetables.
And then Dune 2 is like, here's the main course. Because there's a lot to bring in, man. There's a lot of this is I find myself.
It also didn't help that the first time I saw it, the first Dune, the person I was watching with was like, oh, we could skip 40 minutes of this.
Oh, really? They like read the books and stuff. Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to give it a chance because we need we need stuff that's not Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and comic books. Like that's pretty much taken up a lot. And there was an interesting question being bandied about a couple days ago, guys, about like Mission Impossible. In fact, Frank Red was involved in it, of all things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, Frank Red in the dungeon.
My guy.
But it was like Mission, and I don't understand this. Like the latest Mission Impossible one, I guess it's the
Great.
first. So you saw it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's Dead Reckoning, I think part one. But it's also the seventh movie in the series, right? So Okay. So
it's just like how the next Fast and Furious is going to be Fast X2.
But wait, so that's Fast 12?
No.
It's
11.
Okay, this is garbage because this is like
the second part of 10.
I'm taking you back to like old school. Okay, remember First Blood, right? And then there was Rambo First Blood Part 2, right? And then the third movie was Rambo 3. And that always got my ADD going because I was like, hold on. It's Rambo 2 First Blood Part 3. But they skipped a whole thing and went straight to Rambo 3. Anyways, the budget was $291 million, one of the most expensive movies ever made. This is the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. The box office, Jason, internationally was $567 million. Now that's a difference of like $280 million or whatever the hell, right? Okay. Yeah. So like it did well, right? Like, wow, you made that's over $250 million in profit. Well, due to its overall budget and competition from the Barbenheimer phenomenon, it underperformed at the box office. Okay, fine. Well, maybe I guess apparently it was one of the lower ones, whatever, of all the Mission Impossibles. But here's what they say. They later estimated that it lost the studio around $100 million by not crossing $600 million worldwide and was described as a box office disappointment. I don't understand. How can something make over $250 million in profit, but then lose the company $100 million?
You're not taking into account all the advertising.
So marketing, I was thinking about that. So is that
like the thing they always say is whatever you spend on the movie, you're spending that much on the marketing.
Oh, so okay, so they don't include marketing in the budget of the movie.
Correct.
Well, that's dumb.
They add it when you're an actor and you get a percentage of the profits of the movie.
No.
Like what Beeman said on the YouTube?
Go ahead, Jason, read it because it's so great.
I'm just going to say it. If there are 6 Mission Impossibles and they complete the mission, it seems like it's not that impossible.
It's a great point. I mean, they keep
Incredible point.
They keep completing these impossible missions. So, anyways, the whole discussion was, is the great movie theater movie dead? And I think it's like 2 things. Well, first off, no, but they're not helping themselves by, number one, like you can watch a first run movie like 3 weeks after it comes out on Amazon Prime for like $30.
Yeah.
And then secondly, why do we discount this? Like you can get like, seriously, you can get like a 65-inch TV and a full home entertainment system with Dolby Atmos. I literally priced this out yesterday. You can get the whole, I'm not talking top of the line, blah, 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 but you can get all of that for $1,000. Like the whole thing for $1,000. That's a really good quality. And by the way, for the same price, a lot of people don't do this because you got to, put stuff on your ceiling, but you can also, instead of getting the TV, you can get like a 130-inch pull-down screen and a 4K projector. So you literally have like a movie theater setup in your room for $1,000. Like projectors are cheap these days, man. And
you've got the popcorn maker.
I got the popcorn maker. Oh, I got the movie theater seats, baby. I got the whole thing in the garage. But I'm not alone. But even if you're not going that far, like you're never going to duplicate the experience that you get at like the Cinedomes or wherever they're called now. I get it. And nobody's ever going to duplicate movie theater popcorn, which, Jason, as you and I both know, is a huge, huge thing.
Absolutely. That's money. That's the toughest thing to replicate. But I wonder if we go in cycles, because I know Barbie and Oppenheimer did really well at the theater. So I don't know that it's completely dead, but I think we were very close to losing the movie theaters over the last couple of years.
They've been trying a lot of stuff with those season passes and all that. By the way, everyone calls it Barbenheimer. Why was it never Oppenheimer? Who decided that?
Them.
We'll take a break. I think we used that 5 minutes pretty well, by the way. I think we knocked out a lot.
And by 5, you mean 7.
I mean 7, exactly. We will.
But you've got to see the Mission Impossible, all of them.
You know what? Honest to God, Jason, we watched the first one about 3 months ago. That's one of those where we're going to watch them all with the kids, because I think those are, for the most part, those are not kid friendly, but you can watch.
Yeah. Except what happens to Emilio Estevez.
Is Emilio Estevez in them?
Yeah, well, he's in the first one.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't make it out the first one.
I think I fell asleep to that one, too.
Hey,
at the very beginning.
Well, here's the other thing. What people don't factor into watching all these movies and everything at home is that when you go to a movie theater, you're not jacking your bill up 300% because you're running all the electricity and everything.
Oh, the
bill. And that's why I strongly suggest you switch to electric year-round on behalf of my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Good morning, everybody. Carmichael Dave here as we wrap up hour number 1. And I'm here to talk to you about your energy bill. That's right, your energy bill. You might think, oh, that's boring. Well, you know what's not boring? Saving money. And right now, not only can American Energy outfit you with an incredibly efficient HVAC system that's up to date, ready to go, operates flawlessly, they can get you up to $9,000 in rebates, and they'll do all the paperwork for you. They'll make sure that cash gets in your bank account. And you don't have to worry about PG&E anymore because, you're electric year-round. Now, you combine that with solar, and my goodness gracious, that's a lot of savings. Well, why should you go to American Energy? Well, let me tell you why. First off, they're cool. Love those folks. They actually do care. They are your neighbors. Their kids go to school with your kids, et cetera, et cetera. Been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. What more do you want? Those are their credentials. They got a good deal. They'll save you money. They'll get you the rebate. 916-520-9999. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy. Making it comfortable. When we come back, Major League Baseball statistics are about to change for the better. We'll talk about this at length next.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store lowes.com/credit for details.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia of Vacaville, where we're celebrating the arrival of a new season with unbeatable lease options on our 2024 lineup. As May blossoms with possibilities, it's the perfect time to immerse yourself in the exhilarating world of Kia, highlighted by the luxurious and versatile Kia Telluride. Throughout the May Springtime Sales Event, Kia of Vacaville is thrilled to showcase our top models with irresistible lease offers. Experience the thrill of driving the all-new Kia Sportage, seamlessly blending captivating design with dynamic performance. Dive into the impressive fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel designed to extend your adventures. Embrace the essence of spring with our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, specifically tailored for those who prioritize efficiency without compromising on style. With the EV9 in stock, Kia of Vacaville stands as your premier destination for electric excitement. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia of Vacaville for more details. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, hour number 2. Jason Ross there, me here, good to go. I like the, usually I just watch the monitor on the YouTube like everybody else, but I like being in StreamYard, which is the software we use. So I can see Jason when he's on remote live, like licking his lips right now. Hey, And,
hey.
and also it shows all of our people. not just the YouTube ones, but everybody. I like that number better. It's a lot more. Hey, welcome in, and thank you. And thank you to everybody who does tune in. We do appreciate it. Jason, I have a project for you real quick before we get started. I would like for you to pick a time frame for us to give away Brooks and Dunn tickets today.
Oh,
I'm going to leave that to you. This is a showocracy. It's not a showtatorship, as I always say. So all's well that ends well.
How about we do it in the let's do the 8:27 segment.
That's a terrible idea. All right, 8:27, Brooks and Dunn. Hey, I don't know. I don't pretend to know a lot about a lot of things, but is Brooks and Dunn? That's a boot scoot and boogie, right? I think that's boot scoot boogie.
I think that's the last time he said when we gave those tickets away.
Is that what I said? When did we give away Brooks and Dunn tickets? Like years ago?
No, like a few months ago.
Really? And I said that? I don't like that you remind me of things I repeat, because then it underlines the fact that I don't remember the things that I repeated. And then I'm going to start getting a reputation for being...
You also said that.
I said this right here. Okay. Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is... historically, Jason, Major League Baseball is the old man of sports. They don't like change. They don't like adjusting to the times. It's very slow. It's like the IRS of sports. But I would say that I'm not a Rob Manfred guy by any stretch of the imagination. But I would say that over the last few years, and I'm not even talking like wild card or divisional adjustments or any of that. I'm, pitch clock and, the experiments they've done with the runners on base and extras. And even the idea now that it is inevitable we're going to go to robot umps. So they've shown a bit of change over the last few years. And some of those changes have been kind of worldly or universally praised. But now this is something that's been talked about for a long time. The stats from the Negro Leagues will be added to the Major League Baseball official stat tallies. So if you're wondering, yes, Barry Bonds is still your all-time home run leader. And most of your, as far as from what I've read, leaders are going to stay the same. The big one is Josh Gibson now leads in both career average and season average. You can add one home run to Willie's 660, so it'll now be 661. We talked about this before, and without getting to this, that, or whatever, when you base it on the fact as to why these players had to play in their own leagues, when you combine that with most historians saying that the Negro Leagues were on par or better than the Major League Baseball players were at the time in those games. It's just something that does seem to make a lot of sense and has been a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the main pushback would be, Dave. Just the fact that it wasn't done this way before. I mean, is that it? Is it going to? And there's, before there's always some, without, the obvious, the racial undertones to kind of this. But besides that, I don't understand why it wasn't done before. I'm glad it's being done and implemented. But what would be the pushback to not do this?
I think, and again, I'm trying to. You're asking me to argue the other side, that which I don't believe. But I'll give it a shot. I think the idea is, first off, it's just precedent in history. Just, hey, look, why are we doing this now? Number one. Number two, it's Major League Baseball. It's not the Negro Leagues. It's Major League Baseball. So why aren't we adding in, Ichiro and many others have come over from the Japanese league. So should we have Ichiro's total hits from his career? And should we have Sadahiro O's total home runs, which is in the 800s? And why aren't we combining stuff? And by the way, the NBA doesn't combine the ABA. NFL doesn't combine or do they? I don't know if the NFL does AFL or not. I think they do, actually, but isn't putting in the USFL or any of that. There no other leagues, for the most part, and I don't know every league in the world, so I'm sure I'm wrong here, but they don't do this. So I think the arguments you're going to see today are going to be twofold. One, it's going to be based around the numbers I just saw. And then you're going to see, you've already seen the other arguments, is that baseball is going woke. This is what do you call it when you're not grandstanding, but what's the term they always use? Virtue signaling. They're pandering. You're gonna, of course, you're gonna see that. I think what defeats that is that the ABA, the USFL, the AFL, whatever you want to throw in there, those were not leagues that were separated from the NFL and the NBA because of race. That's correct. The big difference. You're not combining Ichiro's numbers because that's an entirely different country's league. You wouldn't do it from the KBO in Korea. You wouldn't do it from anywhere else. Why would you do it here? In that sense, of course, it's Major League Baseball's rules and regulations, but the Negro Leagues, if you look at them as basically an offshoot of Major League, they were the best players in baseball in the world that were forced to play in a separate league because God forbid people had to mix with black people on the base paths, in the clubhouses. And let's be clear here, Jason. I mean, you love baseball history as much as I do. I remember reading in the Mick, as you know, my favorite all-time book, the autobiography of Mickey Mantle. You know, he talked about Elston Howard, and who was the first Yankee of color to play with the Yankees, who was a teammate of his, and talked about, this wasn't just Major League Baseball saying this. There were a lot of players, a lot of managers that were like, I'm not sharing a clubhouse with these people. I'm not getting on a bus with these people. And Mickey talked about how they would go on the road, and Elston Howard would, I think, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think he talked about how actually it was a home game. And I want to say Elston Howard had a 2-home run game, 4 RBI, won the game for the Yankees, a big, big game against Boston. And then afterwards, Mickey and Whitey Ford and Moose Gower and Hank Bauer and Billy Martin, the whole crew, they like to go blow off steam at the Copacabana. But Elston Howard couldn't go with them because the Copacabana wasn't into that and didn't want Elston rubbing elbows with everybody else, despite the fact that Sammy Davis Jr. would play there a lot. So they all would go with Elston to the bars, both there and on the road. And especially when they were on the road, for example, in the Midwest, in the South, it's a whole different ball game. And then you go into, Hank Aaron's conversations about the death threats he received. How there were guys saying, I've got a gun. I'll be in the stands in Atlanta where I'm not going to have no N-word, breaking the record of Babe Ruth. So, I'm fine with them doing this. It's a long time coming. And if that means they're woke or virtue signaling or whatever, well, it's a long time coming when you look at the hell these people had to go through.
And then now you hope that you can catch up on the history. And I'm saying you, the collective, all of us, that, some of these numbers now are statistically changing, where I think OPS all-time leader, I think, was Barry Bonds. Mm-hmm. Now it's Gibson. Now that's not a race difference, but it's a time difference.
Yep.
And so you just hope that, I know the one all-time average is now going to be Gibson over Cobb. So there's some numbers that statistically are actually really going to have some changes.
If you really want to blow people's mind, you can get into the conspiracy here that there are a lot of historians out there that still maintain that George Herman Ruth was a person of color. And there are a lot of people that don't want to have that conversation either. But I almost said the black mark on baseball's history, no pun intended, but it's a part of baseball's history that sucks and is terrible. And if this goes a little, and by the way, guess what? You know who's having a really good day today? Josh Gibson's family. You know what I'm saying?
Good for them.
Exactly. And they're the ones that had to grow up listening to their great grandfather or grandfather talking about getting the fire hose turned on them. So again, not to get too platformed here, but what are we really doing? So if you got a problem with it, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's a good move, and I think it's a long time coming. So, all right, we'll take a break. When we come back, 3 for Madness, we'll switch to basketball. Hey, they said bad kitty on that graphic the other day was a good kitty last night with Karl Anthony Towns. We'll get into Minnesota, what's going on there with Dallas, and look ahead as well. We'll do all that basketball and 3 for Madness next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized with help from Beacon. I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, big fight set for December 21st. We'll talk about that. Caitlin Clark with a career-high night. And also, did Micah Parsons, was there a boo-boo that he made, the Dallas Cowboy player, in Texas yesterday when he attended the game versus the Timberwolves? In the meantime, that's who's on the docket, the Minnesota Timberwolves, as we start out 3 for Madness with Christopher Law. Question 1.
Did Cat's performance last night make you rethink his 1,500 shots a day statement?
I mean, look, what we need in this day and age of social media is what we need is a video of somebody taking 1,500 shots. And it needs to be one of those things, Jason, where they start out and maybe they take their first 3 or 5 shots. You got somebody rebounding for them. And it's in real time for like the first 3, 4 shots. And then it's sped up along with the clock until you get to, you have the clock on the right. You have the ticker for how many shots that person took on the left. I honestly want to know in a regular, not rushed way, just a normal shoot-around style. Jason, I have no idea how long it would take to make 1,500 shots or put up 1,500 shots, but I got to think, what are you talking? It's got to be, 2 hours?
Yeah, I'm trying to think because, back in high school or other times where I was playing all the time and really trying to get shots up and work on it, I've done 100 multiple times and maybe more than 100, but I'm thinking of the time it took. So now you're going 1,500 and to do it every day. It's a little bit of a stretch to me. I mean, just the amount of time it will take. But, I mean, at that point, I'm sure Davey's got a rebounder or rebounders and, maybe multiple balls or ball rack or something like that, or one of those nets that shoots it back to you. So I think it's all possible, but it seems like a little bit of a stretch. And, what would have been interesting is if someone like Steph Curry had said, oh, yeah, I get that many a day, right, or I'm only at 600 a day. I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are.
Well, let's try to figure it out right now. And it's always good when we do math.
I just
together.
did some math as well.
Oh, did you? Okay, so did I use what? How many seconds did you use per shot?
I just used 10 shots per minute.
So let's go back a second. You take the shot. Shot's going to the rim, goes through. Let's say you make the shot or miss. It doesn't matter. Then rebounder or somebody who's already got a ball. Let's say they got multiple balls. Passes you the ball, you take a shot again. So that distance in between that, would we say 4 seconds? Is that too much?
Well, Chris is saying 6, right?
Are you saying 6 seconds?
I'm saying just as an average. There's gonna be some where he's shooting up 1 every 2 seconds, but there's gonna be some where he's moving around and he's shooting 1 every 15 seconds.
Okay, so that's for 1,500 shots, that's 9,000 seconds. 60 seconds in a minute, so let's divide that by 60. That's 150 minutes. So that's 2.5 hours at that pace. We're not even talking cardio, by the way, which I know he's just shooting shots, but dude, you're jumping most of the time. There's cardio involved eventually. That seems pretty. I'm calling BS on this, man. 2.5 hours.
We're also not saying that it's 2.5 hours.
Well, what? We're not? That's just a guess?
Yeah.
What?
That's
but
just like a rough estimate.
Okay, but
I would think, if anything, it would be more.
Can we all agree?
Not faster.
Can we all agree that it's no lower than 2 hours and probably no higher than 3 hours?
Yes.
Okay. Now, 2 hours of shooting a day, that doesn't seem. But you're also talking about like the practice and the walkthrough and maybe he's factoring the shots he takes in practice in, but how many shots are you taking in practice? You ever see the show Silicon Valley?
Of course.
This reminds me of the season finale when they got the whiteboard and they're trying to figure out some math. Almost not the same subject matter.
Right.
I'm trying to think of what the term was.
DTF.
Yeah.
Number 2, please.
Question 2.
Thank you. That's it.
A lot of them.
Well done, Jason, whether you meant to or not.
I did.
Hey, good man.
Oh, that's me.
That's you, Chris.
Yeah.
What was the difference last night for Minnesota as opposed to the first 3 games?
I think it was Karl Anthony Towns with the side of Anthony Edwards. Don't get me wrong. Ant was much better last night than he was. And I think he still looked like he was, I want to say laboring, but definitely you could tell he was working hard. And I don't want to discount the fact that he had 29 points, but Karl, there was that time at the end, Jason, Dallas took a brief lead, and then Towns had those 2 3-pointers in a row. He really, he was 4 or 5 from beyond the arc, but I swear to God, I want to say at least 3 were late in the fourth quarter. That's the difference right there. You thought they were melting down, that much like Boston did on Indiana, that Dallas and their experience, like we talked about yesterday, was going to take over. The sweep was coming. But Karl Anthony Towns, with, again, a dash of Anthony Edwards at the end, really, really pulled him from the brink.
Yep, I agree. It's the way they finished, right? That's been the difference. They could have won a couple of games in this series, haven't been able to finish the game the way they wanted to. It's been more set up to have Dallas make a heroic play. They nearly did with that Luka 4-point opportunity. But, it's the finish. It's Towns' big fourth quarter, and Minnesota lives to see another day.
All right, question 3.
Question 3.
Who has the pressure in Game 4?
All right, so look.
Game 5?
Game 5, yeah. Oh, my bad. Did I say game? I did. My apologies. That's not Chris's fault. That's my fault.
I would say Minnesota for Game 4.
Yeah, look, it is Minnesota. They're down 3-1. Nobody's ever come back from being down 3-0. They're down 3-1. The pressure's on them. However, they're playing at home. That crowd's going to be insane. Minnesota has shown throughout this postseason, including obviously with Denver, that they're able to come back and create wins where nobody thought they would. Jason, the pressure is certainly on Minnesota, but if they win, and they're still down 3-2, but even then they're going back to Dallas, I think all the pressure shifts over to Dallas for Game 6.
Absolutely. By game, it gets more and more on Dallas. That's the beauty for Minnesota. Obviously, they don't want to be down 3-0, now 3-1. But every time they can knock off another game, I think it tightens up Dallas. And Dallas knows even the first 3 that I wouldn't say they got lucky to win, but those could have gone the other way. So it's not been a dominant series by Dallas by any means, even though they're up 3-1. It's fragile. It's close. And the next win, if Minnesota gets another one, you're right, David. I think that going back to Dallas feels like Dallas will have to win that game. So good for Minnesota to keep their season alive, keep their hope alive, and keep their belief alive.
It's kind of funny with both these teams, too. They both have no problems winning on the road. No problems. Right. And now we're sitting here where, hold on a second. Hey, what was that? What was that right there? You okay? You all right?
I'm fine.
Okay, you worried me a little bit. Chris grimaced, and I actually was legitimately worried.
Just stretching.
You were? Okay. You're okay. All right, we'll take a break. I saw a grimace on Chris's face, Jason, and I was like genuinely worried about him for a second. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's probably just gas pains. Big heavyweight championship bout set for December 21st. Whether you care or not, we're not devoting a whole segment to boxing. I get it. But I do have some questions about it. Just the annual, where are we at with boxing? Does it still matter? And how much does it matter? And why doesn't it matter as much as it used to, if in fact that's the case? We'll have a roundtable about that right after this.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A comfortable kickoff to your Wednesday morning, followed by a north breeze and warmer conditions this afternoon. Highs today will peak into the upper 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $59. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between. Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
The Golf to Go radio show goes to William Land Golf Course to celebrate its 100th birthday. Join Frank LaRosa and me, Scott Marsh, for a live broadcast Thursday, June 6th from 6 to 7 for all the fun. We'll have great guests, a putting contest, prizes including free golf, free apparel, and much, much more. So make sure to join us Thursday, June 6th from 6 to 7 at William Land Golf Course. We'll see you there.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT 5.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Best trade in 2010 model year or newer and 6324.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirks Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family.
Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Hey, it's Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
for the first time in his career. Usyk also undefeated as well. So here we go. There was an automatic rematch clause in there, Jason, which is good for fans. I guess my question is this, and Chris, I want you in on this because I know you're a fight fan. And I know we probably differ a little bit. Now, I will fully acknowledge boxing purses dwarf MMA purses. First off, that's just not, it's not close.
Imagine thinking the fighters should get most of the money.
Yeah, right. Whereas and it's an interesting situation because funny enough, I think to an extent, screwing MMA fighters has been really good for the sport. From a fan's point of view, and let's take ethics and what's right and wrong out of the equation for a second. From a fan point of view, not only do you have obvious differences between what mixed martial arts and boxing is in general, but by basically creating a monopoly, and there's other fight, leagues out there all over the world, but the UFC is the NFL of mixed martial arts.
They're the Kleenex of martial arts.
There you go. Thank you. They're the brand name. What Dana White and friends have done is create a monopoly and really hold all the leverage, or pretty much all the leverage, over the fighters. And what I love about the UFC as opposed to boxing is that you don't see this whole thing where you don't see a lot of Mayweather-Pacquiao stuff. In fact, you never see it. You don't have situations where you've got promoters behind two fighters and they don't want them to fight each other. So they're fighting a bunch of cans all the time. And next thing you know, they're both 37-0 and 37 years old, and they finally get one last payday. And we never got to see them in their prime. We've seen that throughout the history of modern boxing, where you have different divisions, different belts, IBF, IBO, WBA, WBC, WBO, all these alphabets that are all basically, separate companies that kind of shield their own interests from each other. Whereas with Dana White and Sean Shelby and the people making the matches, it's like, okay, this guy's fighting this guy, and you don't really have a choice. We tell you who to fight.
Even the belts do that. It's like, oh, this is a mandatory match. Oh, but you know what? We're the WBC. We're going to make you the Diamond Champion. And then these other two will fight for the WBC title.
And nobody, and so many of the times, nobody wants to see those fights. You want to, I want to see the best fighter fight the best fighter, and I don't care. And, in mixed martial arts, unless you're John Jones or Anderson Silva, or, there's really not that many. Even John Jones has a technical loss on his record. You're not seeing a lot of undefeated fighters. All the best fighters have, for the most, they've been beaten. Unless you're Khabib Nurmagomedov, you're going to lose, and then you're going to you're going to come back and you're going to win, hopefully, and that creates drama. Anyways, so boxing, in a sense, I think in part because of the emergence of mixed martial arts since the 90s, has taken a hit. But yet, for those who say boxing is dead, you look at the pay-per-view numbers for the big fights, you look at the purses, it's not dead. But Jason, does boxing to you personally, does it matter as much as it used to?
No, it doesn't. And I can give you an example, actually, of all things. Last week when I was gone up in Bandon Dunes, it just kind of randomly came up with my buddy that I was with. We started watching on YouTube Hagler Duran, and one of the great knockouts. I'm sorry, Hearns Duran.
Yeah.
And just one of the most, but the point being, back then, to me, what I remember as a kid, I know the heavyweight title just felt regal and royal, and Muhammad Ali to Foreman to Holmes to different people at that time. And then certainly what Tyson was able to do to help elevate that as well.
Yeah.
Felt like the biggest part of the sport, but I didn't need it to be heavyweight. I know a lot of people say we just need the heavyweights to have names to pull the draw, because I think that stretch, Dave, when Hagler, Hearns, Duran, Leonard, thank you, and getting hit by him. I mean, you could have been in that class.
Yes.
Just how important that. They were just all fighting each other, and they all beat each other. It was just an amazing time, and I think the sport felt higher profile then. I don't know that it's dead, but I think it's definitely on a hiatus. Part of it's MMA, part of it's maybe lack of star power or their own marketing. Don King, for whatever, positives and negatives, he was good at hyping things.
Yes.
I mean, personally, I will admit it, I'm intrigued by Tyson and Paul. I don't know if that's even going to be anything great, but based on hearing the name Mike Tyson, makes me at least intrigued, and that's probably a shame because, I haven't followed the sport the same way that I used to.
No, you bring up wonderful points. The Don King one especially, you're right. For all the issues with Don King knew how to promote fights. And yeah, for the longest time, the thing about the heavyweights was this. The heavyweight champion, going back to, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, was considered that's the toughest man in the world. The toughest man in the world is the heavyweight boxing champion because he weighs the most, he's the strongest, and you have all the other divisions, but the heavyweight champion is the guy. And he was almost this he was an international figure. I mean, there were you go back to the Max Bauer days and all that, and the World Wars.
Sacramento's own.
That's right. And these were patriotic, massive cultural events that happened. You get Mike Tyson that came in and just completely laid waste to everything. And now boxing historians are looking back on Tyson's career and rightly or wrongly saying, Tyson was a juggernaut, but also Tyson, was Tyson so good that he made everybody look bad, or did Tyson just not fight anybody for the most part? And when he did, he got his clock clean from the Lennox Lewises of the world, or of course Buster Douglas. Jason, you talked about the whole Leonard Hearns Hagler, which was I was a little too young for that, but old enough to remember. And if anybody's ever watched, for example, you want to see where boxing used to be. If somebody ever came to me and was like, what are you talking about? The whole boxing's different. I would show them 2 fights, maybe 3. I would start with the first round of Tommy Hearns and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. If you've never seen round 1 of their fight, go to YouTube and look it up. It might be the best round in boxing history at that level. It's insane. Oh, what? You give me
Corrales.
Huh? So I'm getting there. The second fight, or should I say fights I would show you, would be Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward. They had, I believe, a trilogy. I don't think they fought 4. Yeah, trilogy. Like, that was as close as you're ever going to get to the real Rocky. Like, it's just ridiculous. The third fight I would show them would be Jose Luis Castillo and Sacramento's own, the late great Diego Corrales in a fight where in the final round, the fight probably should have been stopped. And at one point, a dazed, I have no idea where the hell I am, Diego Corrales gets up, puts his mouthpiece in, and I think his trainer, I think it was Joe Goosen, was like, you better figure it out, dude. And he somehow managed to take out Jose Luis Castillo, which, by the way, to this day, although love me some Diego Corrales, and it's one of my favorite fights of all time, there's still a part of me that goes, should they have stopped the fight there?
Yes.
Castillo was on his feet.
Technically.
I mean, he was on it. I mean, there is an argument that they gave Corrales all the opportunity to get up when they could have stopped the fight. And Castillo was still standing, and the ref stopped the fight. I think it was a right stoppage, but
his arms are to his side, and he's getting pummeled in the face.
Well, okay, you say tomato. So, anyways, now fast forward, Jason. This is where I'm leading. Is my kind of like Will Clark was like, that's the golden age baseball, golden age boxing for me. HBO After Dark, Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, Ike Corte, Sugar Shane Mosley, Bernard
Roy
Hopkins. Say it again.
Roy
Jones Jr. Like, that segment of boxing in the 90s to me, where you would almost every Saturday, you'd roll in, there's Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, HBO Boxing After Dark, not pay-per-view, on HBO, and you'd almost always have, and then you get to like the specific fights like Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, where he completely blew the fight at the end, Oscar did, some of those matchups. And Jason, it was like having friends over, everyone's gathered around the TV, there's 15, 20 in there. Half of them are plastered by the time the main event's on. You're screaming and hooting and hollering. You're building an entire night around that. Like that to me, if for my generation, was the epitome of boxing. And that just doesn't happen anymore in boxing. But maybe the heavyweight championships. But here's the other problem. Like these things are sound. The Fury fight was like at noon or something, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And you got to serve the rest of the world. I understand that. But it ain't the same as it used to be.
No, and I felt like there were times where people, hey, I'm gonna get the fight. Come on over, give me $10, whatever. You gather, you get a bunch of people. Now, Dave, I feel like that's happening a little bit with MMA, where people are gathering to watch MMA fights as opposed to bouts in boxing. And problem for the sport again: branding, hype, actual talent. I mean, there's talent out there,
right?
But it's just not put on the same stage right now, right or wrong, as it once was. And I don't know why. I still think, and of all the sports too, we talk about this a lot, like, for hockey, for example, I think if you go to a hockey game, it's completely different. It's just such a different vibe. And I know you've been, but at a boxing match, man, the energy, and MMA, the energy, the adrenaline at the arena or stadium or wherever it is, indoor, outdoor, is palpable. That is an experience for sure.
Not even that. If you go to Vegas for like a big time fight, the whole city, it feels like electric.
There is and that's why last year the whole Draymond Green thing, right, where he stepped on Sabonis, and you remember I said there was a palpable change in the air, and a lot of people didn't understand what I meant or thought I was being dramatic. But Jason, it's from having been to so many fights, boxing, MMA, otherwise. Anyone who's been to fights, you understand there's a different carnal, just gladiator-esque, it's blood in the air. And you can feel the physical change in energy when there's a fight, when there's blood in the air, when there's that going on. It's this, I guarantee you, I wasn't at the Malice in the Palace, but I can promise you that the feeling of energy in the fourth quarter to when all of that happened, anyone who was in the building that night understood a complete and total change in energy. We don't, even MMA now, MMA is, the UFC's kind of, I don't want to say they're at a crossroads because people always say that. But, you went from your Tito Ortiz, Royce Gracie, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture phase. Well, I guess I should say you started with Royce Gracie to Mark Coleman to Rich Franklin. Then you had your Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, Liddell Couture, which I think was probably the zenith of the UFC in general. That was the best star power they had. Then you graduated into your Conor McGregor's, Ronda Rousey, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Johnny Bones Jones, who kind of bridged those two. The problem is right now, don't get me wrong, the level of fighting is still amazing. It's as good or better than it's ever been. But I don't know if it's that nobody cares about the Ultimate Fighter reality show anymore. I don't know if it's just the lack of charisma. I don't know if it's UFC's marketing. But Jason, you are, I would say over the years, am I correct in saying that while you wouldn't classify yourself as a MMA fan, a UFC fan, that you're generally aware of it, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it.
Can you name for me any current UFC champions?
No. I mean, I would stumble on it. If I started naming names, you're like, oh, wow. It wouldn't be because I knew it. It would just be, hey, I'm trying to recall some fighters right now, and maybe I got lucky.
Now, Chris, I know you're classically a boxing fan. You went through your MMA phase with me for a while. I understand that. You've always been kind of...
My phase, hated every part of it.
You still watched, mainly because you had to come out to the remotes. Chris, can you name any UFC champions right now?
Is Bill Dev DeVoe one of them?
Yeah, Bill Dev DeVoe is definitely a UFC champion.
Oh,
no, wait, right?
Never trust a big butt and a smile.
I would venture to say that as much as you have always played on your hate for the sport, I would just bet there was a time where you could probably name 4 to 5 current UFC champions.
Like maybe Chuck Liddell.
What I'm saying is right through that period where we were going to Bisla's, God rest his soul, and doing all that and going out there, and it was in the prime of that when we were hosting all those events. I'll bet you could have named 3, 4 UFC champion. I just don't think the hardcore fans can. and they would stand up and say, "What are you talking about?" I said, doesn't matter. Numbers are down. Interest is down. And everyone's looking at Conor McGregor to come back. He's fighting, I think, Michael Chandler here in a few months. And I don't know if you saw the clip a couple nights ago. Conor's training camp's going beautifully. He was at a club dancing with somebody and drinking and doing whatever. And Conor McGregor is probably the closest we have right now, at least in MMA, to a classic champion, in the sense that he lives hard, he parties hard, he's outspoken, his charisma's off the charts.
He's on Roadhouse.
Right, yeah, he's in movies. Yeah. Problem is, he ain't winning. He ain't fighting. Dustin Poirier damn near ended his career. So I don't know where it's at. And I guess I would close with this, guys, because we went long. Do we need an HBO Boxing After Dark back? Do we need a vehicle like that to help? Is there a way to help boxing?
I don't know, because to me, it's not a case of these are on pay-per-view and there's not access. Like, if I was into it, I'm going to purchase it.
Right.
But it's the desire. So if it was free on, sometimes wasn't there fights for a while on Fox, like over the regular cable? Well, that didn't do it for me. It would have to be the fighter or fighters and the draw to me more than the vehicle for me.
Also, we're in a different time, and we've found out that repeated head punishment is terrible for people. And so it kind of makes you, well, for me personally, I kind of feel gross sometimes watching these fights.
Yes.
Big sigh.
No, because here's why. Because Chris isn't wrong. And Chris and I, we've all had extended conversations like, I can't watch that slap league.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just, I think, Chris, I think you're right. I also don't think most people care.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're right.
I don't think that's one of the reasons.
I don't either.
I think it's one of the many reasons.
You can throw it in the pool of reasoning. Yeah.
What's the reason for me?
Is it? Is it kind of
MMA has felt more, whether I'm right or wrong on this, Dave, it's felt more brutal to me than boxing, and maybe it's safer, maybe it's not. I don't know. But like when, boxer, it's kind of straightforward. You hit me, you knock me down.
Yeah.
There's a count. I'm either out or I get up. But that, when a guy's down and maybe even partially out and people keep hitting and punching in the face, it just, I personally don't like that.
And look, we got a break here. I would say this here. Yes, MMA is safer than boxing. The reason MMA
is it really?
It is, and I'll do a brief explanation. Number one, boxing can't end by submission, and there's a ton of fights that are ended by submission where you have little to no blows being struck. So if you look at the general pool, there's there's zero in boxing, and there is a large majority. I'd say about half of your fights that end, if not more, end in a submission, which could be an armbar, a choke, whatever, that leave no real 99% of the time lasting damage. That's number one. Number two, why is MMA safer? Because in MMA, if you are knocked down, now you mentioned the repeated blows, but for example, in boxing, you can have standing 8 counts, you can have 3 knockdowns in a round, you can be knocked down. And what is a knockdown? A knockdown is a concussion, basically. You are hit so hard that your legs go out and you are forced to the ground because your body gave out. In boxing, you are allowed to get up and fight again. Whereas in MMA, if you are knocked down like that, the fight is almost always instantly over. There's far less damage being repeatedly on the whole sent to the head as it is in boxing, where you are repeatedly and only punched in the head. In fact, there's no kicking in boxing, for example. So it's a whole different conversation. I completely understand how at times it looks more brutal, Jason. You're 100% right when you have the unconscious guy getting repeatedly hit on the ground with his arms on the ground. But it's interesting. It's an interesting crossroads for the fight sports right now. But one thing we do have is that heavyweight bout December 21st. We'll take a break. Good conversation, though. When we come back, Caitlin Clark's got a career high. Did Dallas's Micah Parsons make a boo-boo at the Dallas Timberwolves game last night? We'll talk about that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
We see a lot of news about teens vaping, but teens see something else. Videos on social media that glamorize it and downplay the dangers of nicotine. How can parents talk so kids will listen? Use facts. 1. Nicotine can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can make teens more anxious. 3. Changes to the brain can be permanent. So even when it hides behind a new look, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
The Summer Starts Here sales event is on now through Memorial Day at your Toyota dealer. Hit the road in a brand new Toyota truck and explore new trails on any terrain. The time is now, so don't miss out. Right now, get financing as low as 0% APR on 2024 Tundra Hybrid, or up to $2,000 cash back. Or check out the all-new redesigned 2024 Tacoma. Hurry, Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event ends soon. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Tundra Capstone models only. Excludes TRD Pro. N6324.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Well, Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever still have just one win. They've had a brutal start to their schedule. Plus 88-82 to the Los Angeles Sparks, the only other one-win team in the WNBA right now. But Caitlin Clark had a season-best 30 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. Number 2 pick in the draft, Cameron Brink, who she played against, who's also enjoying quite a bit of fame, finished with 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And let me just say, Cameron Brink, sister of the guy that gave us the White House tour. I think I mentioned that before. And weirdly enough, that's how I'm going to know Cameron Brink for the rest of my life now, is not as the basketball player. She's the sister of the guy that gave us the White House tour. He's really nice. And
makes sense. He showed you that little door.
He showed me the little door. The Fever drew a near sellout crowd, Jason, of over 16,000 people on a Tuesday night. A crowd that included T.Y. Hilton, you remember the former Colts receiver, Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, the guy you wanted us to pick, Andrew Nemhard, and current NFL players Shaquille Leonard and Nick Cross. With her 6th assist of the night, Caitlin Clark became the first player in WNBA history with 100 points and 50 assists in her first 8 career games. But I'll tell you, whether or not they're winning, the numbers are off the charts. The attendance is off the charts. Caitlin Clark mania has not subsided, Jason.
That's good, right? I mean, that's what I'm sure there's some jealousy and envy maybe across the league from some of the established players. But if it brings more attention to this sport, like she did in the college game, and now that was the big question, will she have the same kind of impact in the WNBA? And so far, so good, even with a team that, is just losing all the time. And that's not her fault. Right. She's having some big games, but we'll see if she can keep it going. I mean, I'm rooting for it.
It's a quick segment. We went long with boxing, so we'll take a break. When we come back, the Timberwolves keep their season alive. And also, I want to tell you about this Micah Parsons story real quick. We'll do all that right after this.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A comfortable kickoff to your Wednesday morning, followed by a north breeze and warmer conditions this afternoon. Highs today will peak into the upper 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
You've seen the specials on Amazon, Netflix, Showtime, and more. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
Babe, can I go with Steve and have a drink at the casino? And then she started to speak wife. She looked at him right in the face and she goes, "You can do whatever you want." And his dumb goes, "Told you." I go, "Oh, no, it's a trap. It's a trap."
Steve Trevino, Saturday, June 1st, the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Hour number 3. Brooks and Dunn tickets in about half an hour. Before we get to the Timberwolves, Jason Ross, and the Mavericks, I did see a story that kind of caught my eye, and this is I know one of those cases of you're being way too sensitive, Dave, which happens a lot. Anthony Edwards, who, as you know, plays for the Timberwolves, was in the tunnel after last night's win. And he noticed Cowboys star linebacker Micah Parsons there. Parsons was in the building wearing a Luka Doncic jersey, but he had them paired with some Adidas AE1s. That's Anthony Edwards' signature shoe. And that didn't go unnoticed by Anthony Edwards, who approached him in the hallway and said, I will have some nice shoes for you when I come back for game 6, obviously meaning we're going to win the home game and we're going to come back. And he said something similar, at Ball Arena in Denver when he told the locker room attendant, hey, we'll see you at game 6 or whatever it was. My question is this, Jason, was it and I underline a minor faux pas. Was it a minor faux pas for Micah Parsons to be wearing Anthony Edwards shoes to a Dallas game, or did people just not care anymore?
I feel like I'm ill-equipped to discuss this, but I will do my best. I found it personally weird when there were NBA players wearing Kobe's.
Yes.
Against Kobe.
Yes.
So,
and by the way, to your point, and there's still a part of me that a tiny part of me, but still a part of me that hated the whole De'Aaron Fox, Steph Curry shoe deal right after that whole thing happened. I hated it.
Right. So, I mean, if that's, I don't even know, allowed or done, this is a guy that plays another sport. He was wearing a Luka jersey, so he is supporting Dallas. And then, a lot of times to me, again, not a shoe connoisseur, you are far more than I am. It's style, it's look, it's feel. And if those shoes felt good, and you know what? He can also like Ant. I mean, you could be rooting for Dallas and like Ant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like it's a faux pas, but again, people could, push back on me all day and go, what are you talking about? That's silly. So I feel a little ill-equipped, but that's my belief on it.
Plus, Parsons is signed by Adidas.
I get it.
What other Adidas shoes is he going to wear?
There's some cool Adidas. Where are those Run DMC ones? The ones with there's some badass Adidas ones out there.
The ones you mentioned were the ones that are like 50 years old.
I know this is a generational thing. Like My old partner, Kyle, if he were here right now, he would have already interjected. I mean, shut up, old head, stop. Who cares? Because my whole thing used to be like, hey, am I wrong for wanting the players to wear shoes that even come close to matching the uniforms? Like, come on. Like, and it's true. Look, if I'm old school, I'm old school. I want the home jerseys to be white. I want the road jerseys to be the dark jerseys. Wear a shoe that somewhat matches the damn uniform, for example. It's like you're out there wearing a purple uniform and you're wearing these like green and bright yellow shoes, but whatever, fine. I don't know what the equivalent is here because we don't
pay my taxes.
Like
that's what I was going to say, Dave. Do you pay your taxes?
Yeah, and I drive in the fast lane. I don't know what the equivalent is here. I'm just saying it's kind of like what you said. Wearing Kobe's. I will say this. I was gifted a pair of Kobe's once, and I will 100% admit that other than Jordans, they're like I think they actually might be the most comfortable Nike I've ever worn.
Well, there you go.
Just admitting it.
Comfort matter.
Yeah, but what if? Okay, I'm not going to use that example. I'm trying to think of something historically that you might wear that would be really comfortable, but you'd never wear it. And I instantly thought of an example, and I'm going to pass on that one.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, what if if a Lakers hoodie is the most comfortable hoodie I've ever worn, I'm not wearing it.
Yeah, I get you.
I
get you. Hey, by the way, another aside, what was with the stash of jerseys you came up with yesterday?
Oh, God, I forgot about that. So my wife's
doing that LeBron signed?
No. So yes and no. Thank you for bringing that up. So it's stitched. It's a stitched.
Oh,
it's a stitched LeBron James signature on the. So let me back up. So my wife is doing this project where she's like cleaning out just reorganizing the garage.
Set the screen.
And she found this box of. I went through this phase in like the early 2000s where I was wearing jerseys every day, and I was really getting into the throwback jerseys. And I'm going to be honest, because I think the statute of limitations is over. Part of the reason is because I got turned on to this Chinese website, and I could get these like throwback jerseys for like $10.
You got us all on that website.
Oh, that's right, I did. And usually they were like they had the Mitchell and Ness tags on them, like they were legit. But then occasionally, like Jason, I have a Mickey Mantle throwback. I think you've seen that has the patch from the opening of the Yankee Stadium, which he'd been dead 12 years. There's
and it's almost see-through,
right? Like but I just went through this phase where I was all about jerseys, and so I had packed a lot of them away years ago. And she brought me this box that had jerseys and some other old clothes. Most of them are going to Goodwill. I kept the only jersey I didn't keep was this like mesh John Barry black road jersey that some lucky person at Goodwill is going to be able to buy. It's just because it was all jacked up. But yeah, one of them was LeBron James's McDonald's All-American jersey. What I didn't show is that there's like some sort of stain on there that, it's kind of jacked up. There was a bunch
of... Wait, if the Barry jersey is jacked up, you're giving it to Goodwill?
Well, what else would I do with it?
I don't know. What are the rules on it? Like, like if someone else could wear it, like, is it wearable?
Yes, it's yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, It's totally wearable. It's just it's not stained. It's just there's like a tiny rip on the bottom, and it's
okay.
Well, here's my thing. I'm never ever going to wear it. Which I'm probably never ever going to wear a few of these other jerseys that I kept, but I just can't part with them. So
where's the Joe Namath?
Joe Namath actually was never in the box. Joe Namath is actually still there. It's hanging up. But there was like Roy Keane, David Beckham, Ruud Van Nistelrooy jerseys from when I followed Manchester United. There's a Stockton Thunder hockey jersey. A Terrell Owens Eagles jersey. I don't even remember getting that. Yeah. There were a couple of Kings shooting jerseys from back in the day that are going to Goodwill because I'm just going to be honest, they're about 2 sizes too small now. But yeah, it was kind of like Christmas. And then, of course, I had to go through 4 versions of what I was throwing out because the first version, she was like, you're never wearing any of this. So then I had to like add a couple of more. I want to keep everything. Like, I don't like throwing. I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to that stuff.
I was about to say, so that's more you than her.
Oh God, yeah. No,
you're the hoarder.
I am 100%. When it comes to certain things, basically clothes and spare electronic equipment. Like the biggest.
You got a lot of cords,
dude.
And kitchen gadgets.
And yeah. Yo Nana's is still in the garage.
Oh man, I'm out of cash.
But let me tell you, about once or twice a year, Jason, we need a certain cord or maybe a power strip.
You're the guy.
And I go and I find it, and it is like the biggest dad win. I'm like, wait, I think I have one of these.
I've got it.
I go into my big Walmart giant blue plastic box, and I pull out the RCA to headphone jack so my daughter can listen to the thing, and Daddy's got it for you, and that's why I've kept everything.
Your Davio shack.
Dude, seriously.
I tried.
That's like in my my backpack. Same thing. I have a walking Best Buy in there. So anyways, a lot of people are asking me what the website is. That website was shut down a long time ago.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah.
You had the last purchase.
Yeah. You know what? It'll be kind of fun. Do you have, are you a jersey guy? Like, I don't know. Do you have jerseys? I know you have a couple.
Yeah, not that many. I've never really been a jersey guy.
I'm trying to think, maybe for summer, it'll be kind of a fun thing just to keep me interested. Maybe I'll try to wear. Let me see how many days in a row I can go wearing a different jersey. I think I could. I think I could make the entire summer.
Really?
Dude,
you have more than 20?
Easily. Oh God. Easily.
50?
I think it's somewhere around 50 to 70. Honestly,
well, 5 shows a week. That's 10 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I mean, dude, but I have like the most random, like, I have a Jack Cooley Okinawa jersey. I have a Florida State baseball jersey in football form. Trust me, it's weird. I have a, well, like you said, the Namath. I have a Sidney Crosby All-Star jersey. Like,
you have some Will Clarks.
I have 4. I think I have 4 Will Clarks.
You get a Will Clark week.
I could. I have an Alexander Ovechkin shirt. Like, why? Why do I have these? Because they were cheap. But I got them both when they were like rookies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe we'll have Jersey Week.
And I know how many NBA. What's the bigger, most sports? Sounds like you have quite a bit of hockey.
I do have. Weirdly, a lot, because I believe hockey sweaters and football jerseys are the best ones to wear. Like, they're the most wearable. But I easily basketball. I've probably got 30 basketball jerseys. Wow. Everything, but a lot of them are like Jimmer Fredette, Ben McLemore. Like, I've got the Barbie version of like the Beam. You know, I've got a lot of those specialty. I still have the only prototype ever. The only other hockey jersey that was a sweater that was ever made. You know, the one I would always wear on the RV trip. But I don't know if I've ever brought in. I think I have the white one with our test on the back, which was a prototype that they were going to make, and they never did. And then Craig Amazon gave it to me when he left. But I have that hanging up. Yeah, I'll start that. You know what? Screw it. I'll start it tomorrow. Since I can't make you Loco Mocos in studio because I don't think she smells, then fine. Then nobody can object to Jersey summer.
That's right.
Unless they smell.
Maybe a little mothy. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's get to the Timberwolves. Can they do the unthinkable? They keep their season alive. We'll do that and more right after this.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of free, pre-qualified, and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumber yard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
Carmichael Dave.
We have very good sources and just kind of tell what it is. It's the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Drafted. Doncic the other way. Hold on, here he comes. And there he goes. Towns will curl around Washington and feed to Gobert. The two bigs are going hand in hand inside. Doncic with the desperation. He got it. A spectacular shot by Doncic. Washington will inbound. Doncic a spinning three. Rebound inside Washington. Irving back to Washington. Triple, no. Doncic in there, knocked away by Minnesota. Was one and stayed alive. Eye-to-eye with elimination. And Minnesota wins at 105-100. We'll see you in Minneapolis.
I gotta hear this one more time. Hold on.
Towns will curl around Washington and feed to Gobert. The two bigs are going hand in hand inside.
You did that on purpose, Chris. Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Lloyd, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who had foul trouble early in the game. They made it through. They found a way behind Carl Anthony. Is it Carl Anthony Towns? Or is it Carl Anthony Towns?
It's Carl Anthony Towns.
There's a dash in there, right?
Yeah, his last name's not Towns, right?
No, it's Carl dash. It's Carl dash Anthony Towns. So I guess his last name is Towns.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, Carl. I always
you're right.
Yeah, I know it's Carl Anthony because like Carl Anthony. So wait, hold on. It's so stupid. He's been in the league 10 years. Wait, hold on. So his first name is. Just want to get this right. His first name is Carl dash Anthony.
Correct.
Is there another? Is that unique?
No.
Who else has a dashed first name?
My grandma.
Really?
Yeah.
My dash grandma.
Okay, but I mean, like that people. No, all respect and love to your grandma, but I'm saying like in the cultural world, in the world people know. Like, is there an actor or a athlete or a singer?
Wasn't there like some kid actor that has like names? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, you think about like the kid from Home Alone, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but I don't think
there's a good one, Jonathan Taylor
Thomas.
Thomas.
But I don't think it was Jonathan Dash Taylor. His first name wasn't Jonathan Taylor. Carl Anthony Towns. This is blowing me away now, and I really need to move on from this. But I just what?
What? I saw a picture of Jonathan Taylor Thomas now.
Oh, is it not? Is it different?
Really?
Oh my god!
Wait. Okay, now you're making me do
now
this.
Now we're all. This isn't good.
He looks like Tim Allen now.
No.
What?
Oh my God! You're 100% right.
Wait, which one? Is he wearing the beanie?
Yeah, the one in the beanie where it looks like he's holding a beer.
The one with the Mets hat. The Mets hat is the one that I.
Oh, what is that about?
What is he holding?
That's a mask.
Looks like a jewel in his mouth.
A what? Oh, a jewel. Not the singer. But it's not Jonathan Dash Taylor. I think Carl Anthony Towns is the only person. Is this right? Hold on. Okay, guys, sorry, ADD. I know you're listening right now and you're getting mad. Hold on. Let me just. Hey, Thank you, text line. Guys, there's a very obvious one. Not a very obvious one, but like a name you both know.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay, there's another one. But by the way, that's a nickname. That's not his name. His name, if I remember correctly, wasn't it John Smith?
I think that's what it is.
And then his nickname was Juju, and then he took his, I think, a stepfather's name. And that's why I've always said Juju Smith-Schuster is the greatest name of all time because of what he started with. He started with John Smith, the most boring name ever, and he turned it into a cool name like Juju Smith-Schuster. But there is a documented star with a dash in his first name, ladies and gentlemen. He's one of the greatest action stars of all time.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That is right, Jean-Claude.
How about the guy you're going to see in LA? No,
the guy that I'm going to see. Oh,
these two.
I'm like, I'm such an idiot.
Character name.
I'm like, there's no. Oh, you're talking because I'm like, there's no dash between Sir and Patrick. You're talking about Jean-Luc Picard?
Jean-Luc Picard has a hyphen in it.
It does.
In Jean-Luc?
And Jean and Luc. Yeah, his name isn't Jean, and then his last name isn't Luc Picard. It's Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Carl Anthony Towns. Maybe the first ever non-French person to have a dashed first name. So congratulations, Carl Anthony Towns. Not hearing
Does
that.
Anybody out there have a hyphenated first and last?
Oh, like if his name was like Carl Anthony Smith-Schuster?
Yes.
By the way, 3 different people have texted in Juan-Claude Van Damme. I think they're just misspelling Jean.
Or autocorrect.
Juan-Claude Van Damme.
Those are the lesser movies.
Yes. He lost every fight.
Okay, so Carl Anthony Towns, big shooting fourth quarter.
Mark Paul Gosselaar?
Oh, Mark, who? Wait,
Mark Paul Gosselaar?
I think you
Zach from Saved by the Bell.
I think you might be. Yes, you are correct.
That's from Delivery Joe.
We're getting close to a Mount hyphenated first name more. So what do we have here? We have Carl Anthony Towns, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mark Paul Gosselaar, and Jean-Luc Picard. I hate this show. This show is so stupid.
No, you love this.
I don't think Carrie Ann Moss counts. Is Carrie Ann hyphenated? I don't think it is. Hold on. It is! Carrie Ann Moss from the Matrix movies.
Mary-Kate Olsen?
Oh, yep.
Is that a dash?
Yeah.
Where the hell has all this been? All right. I always thought the full name was Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. These are two. Yeah, Mary-Kate.
Well, there is a conspiracy that they're both the same person.
The same. They were never twins.
Have you seen them together?
They just go quickly between each other very fast, so you think it's two people.
Cut it out. Jason.
Yes.
Can the Wolves do what's never been done before? Can they come back? I know, obviously, they can, but can they?
Yeah, why is that so difficult? I was looking back last year, Dave, and I think people forget this. The Eastern Conference Finals last year had the number 2 seed Celtics and the number 8 seed Miami Heat. Miami won game 1. Miami won game 2. Miami won game 3, up convincingly 3-0. Boston's in Miami needing to win to keep their season alive, much like the T-Wolves did last night. Well, Boston won in Miami, so then they knew they were going home for game 5. They won game 5 by 13 points. Game 6 back in Miami was a buzzer beater that Derek White put in to keep them alive. So they lost the first 3, won the next 3. They're coming home with all sorts of momentum, and they lost game 7 at home by 19.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a team like Boston was right there, won the next 3, but couldn't win game 7. I don't know why this has been such a difficult feat. And really, if you look at the games in this series, Minnesota could have won a couple. Actually, they probably could have won all of them and been a sweep on their side. So I think it's doable. I don't think there's a big difference in the teams. It's just, it's difficult to think that they could win 4 in a row, but it's going to happen some point, right?
Well, and we talked about it yesterday. They lost the first 3 games. Minnesota did by a combined 13 points. So that's just over 4 points per game. And by the way, one of those games was a 9-point loss. Then they won yesterday, I think, by 5. So there's an 8-point difference in this series through 4 games. Like, that's about as close and competitive as you can get. And by the way, I saw a graphic yesterday. I know this sounds hilarious, but I think by point differential, I believe they said the Pacers-Celtics sweep was the fourth most competitive sweep of all time.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying, though? But I mean, I get it. Like, a sweep's not competitive, but you can have – there's a difference between just getting your doors blown off for 4 games and what that series was. It was competitive. This is a more competitive series.
Yeah, and then the reality of it, I'm not rooting for this for anybody, but, you know, the more games you play, does someone get dinged up or hurt, or you just can't predict that kind of stuff. And so, you know, meanwhile, Boston's just cruising along waiting for the winner, and Minnesota is trying to keep their season alive. And going home, they've got to be confident about that. I know they lost the first 2, but that's a good side of this, knowing that somehow if they do it, they only have to go back to Dallas once. So game 5, and then if there's a game 7, be back in their building.
Yeah, that's the thing. They Target Center is going to be going crazy. And as we said earlier, if they win that and they go back to Dallas, I don't want to say it's like a must win for Dallas, because guess what? We said the whole must win, Minnesota's not winning in Denver. They're not winning a game 7 in Denver, and they obviously did. But my God, if Dallas, if they go back to Dallas 3-2, I think it's almost like, dude, 98% of the pressure's on the Mavericks at that point.
Right.
Because if Minnesota wins that game in Dallas, now they've grabbed home court advantage back. They've won 3 in a row, and it's a winner-take-all for the finals in Minnesota. That being said, I think Dallas will. I still think Dallas will.
Yeah, just the odds, you know, and the way Luka and Kyrie have been playing, specifically Luka, for sure.
Coming up next, we'll get back to the Kings draft. Jacoby Walter is our prospect we're going to look at number 13. We also have Brooks and Dunn tickets. By the way, you know who? I don't know if you've asked him yet about the draft prospect, Jason, but you know who I'd like to get to weigh in on Jacoby Walter, who might know things, is
Who's that?
Gonzalez Law.
I will ask about that.
Okay, all
sure.
right. So we'll take a break. We'll have a word from Gonzalez Law, and when we come back, NBA draft prospect Jacoby Walker next.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hey there, you never know when you may need someone to represent you on your behalf. And if you are ever in this kind of situation, then you want someone you can trust, right? That someone is important. This is an uncharted waters, hopefully, for a lot of you, and it could be a very stressful situation. So you want someone that works for you. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of lawyers on TV, and they claim to be local. I told you a story of one that, you know, I saw them on TV here saying, I'm local. They didn't even say they were in Sacramento. They just had a fake background of the Capitol. It's like, they're not here. Their office may be here, but they got offices everywhere. So those kind of groups, they just rush through the process, and there's no connection. They just go through case after case after case, and they just burn through them. Well, how about someone that's in our community and then that cares about you, also cares about their name? It's their reputation. They want to do what's best for you, best for them, and keep their business going. And I'm talking about Jonathan Gonzalez at the Gonzalez Law Offices. Like I said, right here in downtown Sacramento, went to his office, had lunch with him. Great guy, good people in the office. And he doesn't just count you as, okay, let's just check that off as another client, another case, and move on. He's not just burning through these things. He will connect with you and help you and make you feel comfortable, talk you through your case, and go forward. And obviously, at a great win percentage rate, if those cases go to court, it's his name on the line as well. So whether it's a wrongful termination case, maybe a car accident, expungement, whatever and wherever you feel you may need representation, I suggest you contact SAClegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. That's the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at SAClegaldefense.com or 916-304-9187.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A comfortable kickoff to your Wednesday morning, followed by a north breeze and warmer conditions this afternoon. Highs today will peak into the upper 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
Sponsored by Xfinity. Enjoy the entertainment you love with the Xfinity Stream app. Turn any screen into a TV and take the entertainment you love wherever you go. Xfinity, we connect you to more of what you love. Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Bonnie.
Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Hey, it's Dasha. Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your number one customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our number one customer.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports.
Jason, I'm going to call an audible here if that's okay with you. First off, Brooks and Dunn tickets right now. 1-800-920-1140. Sacktown Sports teaming up with Live Nation to get you laced up for Brooks and Dunn, Toyota Amphitheater next Saturday, June 8th. All you got to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right meow. Looking for caller number 10 to score a pair of tickets to pull up for Chris doesn't like when I go above 5. To score a pair of tickets to pull up for, just say it's caller 10. You're allowed to do that, right? No. You get Brooks and Dunn tickets, Toyota Amphitheater, June 8th. More info, sacktownsports.com. But we are going to pull an audible here, Jason, because fresh off the presses, apparently somebody was wearing a body cam. It's my guess. As we now have some more audio, Jason. No, this isn't a joke. It's not like an AI thing. From the Scotty Scheffler arrest. And I listened to this during the break. I don't know if you've had it. I know you got the same text I did, Jason. Have you heard any of this yet? No time. Right?
I did not. I was reading some of the comments, but I did not hear it.
All right. So what I'm about to play is the unedited, as far as we know, audio. You'll be able to hear the police officer and Scotty Scheffler speaking as for a couple minutes now during his run-in in Texas earlier this month. And by speaking, I mean you'll be able to hear it as soon as I unmute, because I never do. And here we go.
Yeah. I had to run all the way around that way. It took me about probably a half hour. Okay. So I pulled in here. The police officer up there told me to come the opposite way with the traffic and then come in. As I was pulling in, my window was down, and the officer told me to stop. And as I first of all, I did not know that he was a police officer. I thought he was one of the security guards that was mistaken. And as I was pulling by him, he grabbed my arm.
Stop right there. Why does it matter if he's a security guard or a police officer?
Because
somebody's telling you to stop.
Yes, you're right. I should have stopped. I did get a little bit impatient because I'm quite late for my tea time. And as he was reaching in the car, he grabbed my shoulder and hit me. Like
trying to get you to stop, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It seemed to be a little bit over aggressive because the entrance was open.
Okay.
And I pulled a little bit because I was afraid. I thought he was going to start hitting me, and I didn't know who he was. He didn't tell me he was a police officer. All I saw was the yellow jacket. I didn't know what he was doing. I listened to the police officer.
So the thing is, he's wearing a uniform. Okay. He also is wearing the same jacket that I have on that says police.
Yes.
Okay. Also, on that, if someone's telling you to stop, no matter who it is, you don't keep going. So what happened is you kept going and you took him with you while he's a pedestrian, okay? Yes. So you took him with your car and drug him, okay? Yeah. Which is not a good thing, right?
Very aware that was
to make it, so listen to me, so make it even worse, when he asked you to get out of the car, you refused to get out of the car.
I still was not aware he was a police officer. I was actually looking out the window of the car to try to find a police officer. I asked.
We're all right here. And he was there.
Believe me, sir.
We're all wearing yellow vests so you can see us.
If he knew he was a police officer, I would have been much more or less afraid. But panic kind of set in. As you can see, I'm still shaking because I was afraid. I didn't know who he was. He didn't say, police, get out of the car. He just hit me with his flashlight and yelled, get out of the car. So
we're wearing a lot of police gear. That surely signifies that we're the police.
Believe me, if I knew he was a police officer, I would have gotten out of the car. I don't know what to tell you other than I was a little bit panicked trying to get into the golf course, and I don't know what to do.
Let's go back to the first point, okay? No matter if you thought it was a police officer or not, why are we wearing yellow vests? Why do you think we're wearing yellow vests? So you can see us, right?
Yes.
So you can see us, and if somebody tells you to stop, if it's a traffic guard, security guard, anybody, that means you stop at that time and you don't keep going.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so stuff like this doesn't happen because you actually hurt him, and he's a police officer.
Yes.
He's got a huge scrape on his knee. He's getting checked by EMS, big bruise. So I don't know. But for you right now, the main question is if you're going to jail, and it's up to him. I don't know.
Am I able to speak with him?
No, not at this time. No. So what I'm gonna do?
Okay. Well, there we go. That just kind of cut off. Interesting. Now, I would say this. First off, neither you nor I are a police officer or a lawyer. So I'm gonna ask some or say some probably ignorant things. And by ignorant, I just mean I'm uninformed. I don't know the law, but I guess the first thing is I find myself wondering if Scotty Scheffler was under arrest at that point. And if he was under arrest, was he read his Miranda rights? And if he was read his Miranda rights, then he completely rolled over the part where you have the right to remain silent, the whole incrimination thing. Because what I heard during that was, and this is what will be interesting, and by the way, I don't even know if this is admissible or not. That's another question I would have. But Jason, the Scotty Scheffler's admission that he was asked to stop by somebody in a yellow vest, whether it was a security guard or a police officer, at least according to the officer talking, shouldn't have mattered, and that Scotty Scheffler didn't comply. Now, again, I don't even know if that's illegal, but it kind of sounds illegal. So now I wonder, you find yourself wondering, are these all things that are going to go into an eventual case against him?
Yeah, I mean, so hearing it is different than being there, but hearing it, immediately I had a couple of questions. Again, no law background, no police background, but the policeman, I was very much saying the statement like, look, if someone tells you to stop, you stop.
Right.
I think that could be picked apart.
I
right?
agree.
I mean, like if I said, hey, stop, what authority do I have to Scotty Scheffler?
Right.
And I'm not a police officer. And then the part I would have said if I was Scotty Scheffler, and of course, I'm hearing this at way after the fact, and I don't blame him for not. But what I would have asked is, why was the police officer hitting me?
Right.
So, I mean, the officer's basically saying, this is a guy telling you to stop. Scheffler's saying he didn't identify himself as a police officer. So I can see where the confusion was. I'm not trying to say one person's right, one person's wrong here. But if someone's hitting you and you're at the moment not certain he's a police officer, now I know what the police officer's point was, Dave, is look, he's wearing yellow and we're all wearing yellow. And he probably then clearly sees that as a police officer. But I don't know, is it impossible for someone else in the rain to have a yellow jacket? I could see where there was a miscommunication,
Sure.
but if I'm like being a lawyer and really trying to defend one side, I can see how there's some loopholes in each side of this.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is there has to be context too. Scotty Scheffler isn't Jason Ross or Carmichael Dave or Christopher Lotti. Scotty Scheffler. There has to be some sort of an allowance for him being, not that, let's be careful here. Public figures, celebrities should not get special treatment. That being said, there is a safety component there. And I think the main question here is, did the person trying to stop Scotty Scheffler identify themselves as a police officer and or law enforcement in the course of trying to stop Scotty Scheffler? Because what would stop anybody from wearing a yellow vest and saying, get out of the car?
And Scheffler said he didn't. Maybe the officer will say something different. I don't know. Was a window down when he said it?
Right.
I don't know. And then the preferential treatment, well, they are given some in that situation. If there's that kind of traffic, generally they're trying to let the players who need to get into the tournament that the fans are trying to come see have a special lane or another way through. So I can kind of picture the whole thing happening and it all being a misunderstanding, but it doesn't mean that there, can't or shouldn't be ramifications. This is an interesting one because you hear a little bit more than I think we heard last week, certainly on this.
Yeah. And just to close it out too, it's, look, I can, if I'm trying to defend the police department, I'm obviously, look, I tend to want to be on the side of Scotty Scheffler here. I do. And I am. There might be a part of us saying, hey, look, the world's laughing at us right now. We did nothing wrong. We're not the ones that did this. So we need to stand up for the rights of the police department and all police departments and let people know that, look, we did everything by the book and blah, 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 blah. I can kind of understand where they'd be coming from there. However, there's no good ending here that results in that. It just figure it out, settle this thing. It was obvious. There's so many bad things in this world. Like, maybe just acknowledge that this was a total misunderstanding. You're going to waste a lot of time and money in the court and the judge and the lawyers and all that. Figure it out. Do something nice for charity. Have the police officer and Scotty Scheffler, I've said this from the beginning, do a press conference and shake hands and hug. And Scotty, he'll say all these amazing things about law enforcement. He already has done that. Have the officer, hey, it was misunderstanding, totally get it, blah, blah, blah. And here's $50,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of Dallas, whatever. And let's go. It's just so weird.
Yeah. And I missed, I was gone last week. I know there was a few follow-ups. What was kind of the general thought last week when I know it was pushed to a court there in Kentucky or whatever? Was there any, is it just kind of, nothing developed.
Just same,
really.
Just like, what are you doing? There's no win here. There's no, what do you look? You're looking to convict Scotty Scheffler of these serious charges for what? Again, I don't care who he is, and I don't care how nice he is, and I don't care how much he follows the path and all the wonderful things people say about Scotty Scheffler. If you committed a crime, look, you should be held to the same standard as you and I totally get that. I just don't see how anybody doesn't see this as a misunderstanding and something that can become positive and make a real difference in people's lives. But hey, that's just me, Jason. So hold on. We'll take a break.
The other thing though, you can hear from his voice is like, dude, this guy yelled at me, ran into my car, started hitting me and everything like that.
Right.
Which is what we see in the video.
Right.
And the officer questioning him is like, dude, you dragged this guy which we saw wasn't the case.
Right. It's like if I'm walking, it's not the same thing, but to your point, let's just dramatize it for a second. If I'm walking down the street, if I'm walking down J Street after a Kings game, and all of a sudden, unbeknownst to me, I start walking across a crime scene. I don't see the yellow tape or whatever, right? And all of a sudden somebody jumps on my back and like starts dragging me. Like I'm probably going to elbow that person for self-defense and be like, dude, get off of me. And let's say that elbow catches him in the face. And then I turn around and, it's a police officer. Now I just assaulted a police officer. Like there's a big difference between that and like, stop, police, don't move, do your thing, blah, blah, blah. Like there's got to be some sort of identification going on there. What was the movie?
There's like a fight or flight, right? Like he's getting hit and he's in a car. The advantage that Scotty Scheffler has is to drive, to get away from the person hitting him. And if there really was a point where he did not know it was an officer and was not told or didn't hear, well, he said he heard stop, but he wasn't sure it was from an officer. But then the next thing you know, you're getting hit. What was it, by a flashlight or something? I mean, I don't know that I'm stopping or getting out of the car. Maybe I'm rolling up my window or I'm driving. It's like, why am I getting hit? Who's attacking me?
That's 100% right. You're going to react, especially if you're somebody who is a public figure like him and probably has had stalkers before. Anyway, hey, what was the movie? Total off the subject. What was the movie where the guy said stop, or I'll say stop again? Was that the one with Sylvester Stallone and Estelle Getty?
That's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's not it. All right.
I know what you're talking about.
Right? All right. I'll Google it.
What, a movie where someone said stop?
No, they say stop or I'll say stop again.
Yeah, he's like, stop. Or I'll say stop again. Was that
almost sounds like a Naked Gun.
Or was it a comedy bit? All right, we'll take a break. We'll figure it out during the break.
It was Dune 2.
When we come back, who's hot, who's not, we'll go streaking. All right, we'll solve this whole thing right after this.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Whitey here reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777. 77.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more. What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Before we get started, Jason, quick question.
Yes.
Who's hot?
You know, great question. I'd like to know that. I think Chris knows the answer.
Chris, help us out.
California baseball teams.
Hey.
Yesterday, the Angels won 4-3. The Dodgers won 2 games in a doubleheader, 5-2 and 3-0. Padres won 4-0. The Giants won 1-0, and the A's won 3-0. It's the first time in Major League history a state went 6-0 or better with 4 more shutouts on a single day.
I will tell you this much. That record will never be broken. It won't. You can't break it.
What if Florida gets a couple more teams? What if the A's move to Florida?
But you also had the double header sweep.
Oh, yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, you the only way
what if in 20 years they have triple headers?
2 doubleheaders in the same California team.
That's what I was going to say. You'd have to have everyone win again, and there'd have to be a minimum of 2 doubleheaders. And you know what? Joe DiMaggio and that streak. It's never get 6-0 in California, and no other state has as many teams. What is it?
Maybe we get a team in Roseville. Rockland.
What do we have here? 1, 2. So we got 4 in California. What? There's 2 in New York, 2 in Florida, right? There's Chicago, and there's no other team there's no other state.
We got 5 in California.
Oh, you're counting the A's. Okay, so 5 in California. Wow. Hey now. Oh, you're right. There's no other state with more than 2, right? I'm not sure. Texas 2.
Texas has Rangers and
Astros. Florida's got Marlins and the Rays. New York's got Yankees, Mets.
Missouri's got Royals and
Cardinals.
And Illinois' got 2.
White Sox, Cubs. Yeah. Wow. We have more than double plus 1. Well, we have exactly double plus 1 the amount of teams. Wow. Look at us. And soon to be the Sacramento A's.
That's right.
Who's not?
Dallas Mavericks 3-point shooting. Yesterday, they were 14 of 40 for 35%. The starters, 9 of 29 for 31% on the night.
Yeah, that's why they lost.
Woof.
Ow. Woof is right. Wow, somebody listening late. Going back to the jersey conversation. I have 2 jerseys. 1 Shane Falco and 1 Ricky Vaughn. I respect that. I would wear a Ricky Vaughn. I'd wear a Vaughn. I wear a Ricky Vaughn Guardians jersey. Also, thank you to the 209 and Chris did the research. Stop, or I'll say stop again. That was Robin Williams live at the Met. Robin was very energetic that night. And that was his riff on how the police don't have guns in England. So he'd be like, stop, or I'll say stop again. Yes. Very funny, Robin Williams. Boy, do we miss Robin Williams.
Whoa, hot take.
Yeah, exactly. Robin Williams, best talk show guest ever.
Yeah, but a bit out of control, but probably, yes. Could fill time, and you just don't know where he's going to go.
You know who's underrated for the old heads, honestly, is Charles Grodin. Charles Grodin on Johnny Carson was.
Yeah.
He always
did, Letterman, yeah.
Yeah, or he always did the bit where he hated him and didn't want to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go streaking, please.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? It breaks.
We have it first.
It's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
Well, Jason, apparently the Louisville Police Department listens to our program. The charges against Scottie Scheffler, world number one, PGA Tour, reportedly will be dropped. Apparently the DA is going to drop the charges today. That is per several reports. We'll keep an eye on this, trying to find out who this originated with, but several publications are coming out with this now. And coming from a radio guy in Louisville who's been on the air since 1980, so we trust him. That's 44 years. Yeah, good. And apparently part of it will be that both sides agree to not pursue any legal action related to the ramifications of the arrest itself. Now, do a little charity work, would you, on top of that, guys? Let's have some fun, but that should have happened. It's good that it happened, Jason.
Absolutely. Clean it up.
And was it because of our conversation on this program?
Oh, I think so.
I think it is 100%. Okay, we'll take a break. Somebody's trying to tweet me Kyle Draper's, what is this here? Men's League basketball stats. Do we want these?
Ooh, yes.
I think we 100% do. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, baseball stats, they are a-changing for the good, and we'll talk to you about it next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip-Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
You see the TV commercials, everybody wants this car, the all-electric Kia EV9. Well, my friends at Elk Grove Kia have it on the lot today, and you could be driving it for only $499 a month. That's right, the 2024 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. The all-electric Kia EV9 can be yours right now at Elk Grove Kia for only $499 a month. The summer sales event is going on right now at Elk Grove Kia and the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Everything, I would love to be driving a brand new car this summer, or maybe even just a car that's new to me. Well, guess what? Your credit won't be an issue out here at Elk Grove Kia. Everyone's approved. And Elk Grove Kia is committed to providing excellent customer service and getting you behind the wheel of a vehicle you're going to love. They go above and beyond the average dealerships. You're not going to find this kind of experience in Roseville or Vacaville or Sacramento or Davis. Only at Elk Grove Kia. That's why they have so many 5-star reviews. Come visit the showroom, see for yourself. Elk Grove Kia is in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check out what they got on the lot right now anytime online at elkgrovekia.com. One at this price, $3,500 down, plus taxes and fees.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Gibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Yep. Still awaiting these stats. for Kyle Draper Summer League.
So what happened? Someone sent him to you via
somebody
Twitter
on the
or what?
text line saying, "I got Kyle's men's league stats."
Okay.
And by the way, let me be really, 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 really clear here. Not to clown. I don't care. I don't know what his stats are, but I don't care if he averaged half a point. He's out there playing ball, man. That's more than I can say.
For sure.
Good for him. I just, hey, I want to know what are we dealing with here. I saw the clip of him and Brian Scalabrine from back in his Boston days. I know Kyle's got game. So don't be trying to start no radio wars, people. I just hey, they got stats, and I know if I was playing, I know those stats would be out. And probably if I was playing, you could actually make a word out of my stats. It would be an exclamation. It would be ooh, because they'd be, hey Jason, because they'd be all zeros.
Ooh.
Welcome back. Final hour of the program. Just to recap, Minnesota beat Dallas. What else? Scotty Scheffler's charges looks like they're going to be dropped, and shockingly, shortly after some more audio came out of the arrest. We had a good boxing conversation and a lot more. So if you're coming in late or you missed some of it, hey, go to YouTube and just search Sacktown Sports. Hit the subscribe button. Say hello if you would, and you can also get us on all the apps. And if you say Alexa, turn it to Sacktown Sports, I think that works too. Although at 3:30 every morning when I say Alexa, turn off the music, sometimes she's a little finicky.
Really? She's not a good listener?
Well, it's one of two things, Jason. Either she's not a good listener, or in my head I'm saying that, but in reality I'm saying, oh, that's some music. This is probably
the case.
It's probably more accurate because I've been awake for exactly 3 seconds. All right. One subject we got to earlier, which I think is worth getting to again, is the Negro League stats are now going to be a part of Major League Baseball stats. They are, for ease and convenience of explaining it, they are merging the stats, if you will. So hey, what does that mean? Well, that means that if somebody played the Negro Leagues and now they're in the official Major League database. If I'm just going to use John Smith played in the Negro Leagues for 3 years and had 30 hits and 5 home runs. Well, now when you search Major League Baseball's official archives, John Smith and his stats will be there. If, for example, Willie Mays, he played a little bit in the Negro Leagues. He hit a 1 home run. So the number everyone knows, 660 for Willie, will now be 661. I think I read yesterday, I said earlier, I think Hank Aaron had 5 home runs in the Negro League, so that will add to his total. And the only real change as far as statistics or anything, leaders, etc., is Josh Gibson is now going to be not just your single season, but your career average leader. He's has a, Jason, this is just stupid, career average of 372.
Wow.
Surpassing Ty Cobb's 367. And by the way, as you noted earlier, can we just stop for a moment and just smile at the fact that Ty Cobb, currently in his grave or wherever he is that's likely rather hot, is rolling around knowing that Josh Gibson has surpassed him for lifetime batting average. I don't hate that at all. I believe he also had the all-time record now for single season average. Josh Gibson, 466. So yes. Now look, if you want, we talked about this before. Like we're in favor of it. If there's people that think that it was a minor league version of Major League Baseball, talk to baseball historians, look it up, Google it, read them. These are people that took the time and know far more than we do, you or I, and anyone listening. And they all say the same thing pretty much, that the Negro Leagues were either on par or better than Major League Baseball. So that's number one. Number two, if you want to look at 466 for a season and raise an eyebrow, I don't blame you, but please let it be the same eyebrow. Jason, I raise the eyebrow, but it's the same eyebrow I raise about Wilt Chamberlain averaging like 32 rebounds.
Sure.
And you know, like the whole argument of back in the olden days, you know, they were putting up these numbers playing against this guy and that guy and this, you know, Sears shelf stalker. Like that argument I think is still acceptable, but not the whole, oh, these leagues shouldn't count. They weren't as good as Major League Baseball. Nah, that shouldn't be the case.
No, what else can we do back then as far as the differences of what, you know, the full-time commitment to athletes now and how much training and how many years they prepare and all that? I think everybody would agree bigger, better, stronger, faster, all that now, but that's irrelevant to this conversation. This is about what was done, what was being held back, what part of history wasn't being acknowledged. And, you know, good for baseball to finally do it. I think it took too long, but at least they did it. They didn't, you know, treat this as an asterisk or something else now going forward, now to be a part of the history. And for young baseball fans now they can learn it like you and I did, Dave, when we were kids. I mean, baseball is such a stat-oriented storytelling mechanism, right? And so it's like, you know, you'd look at baseball cards, or back then, heaven forbid, encyclopedias or different things that had almanacs that, you know, probably don't even exist anymore. But that's how you would find out some of these numbers and stats and how great players were. So for me to comment on, you know, Gibson, how good of a player he is, I see the stats, never watched him play, I have no idea, but you got to acknowledge what he actually did do.
There's some other numbers shifting around in addition to Gibson. So, for example, Barry Bonds, 863 slugging percentage, drops to 5th, trailing Gibson, a couple others, and Mules Suttles. Mules Suttles. That is such an awesome baseball name. 877 slugging percentage in 1926. Bonds' prior OPS record of 1.421. That's just insane. Now drops to 3rd behind Gibson's 1.474 and 1.435 back in 37 and 43, respectively, as you knew. Willie Mays gains 10 hits from the Birmingham Black Barons in 1948. He now has 32.93. Minnie Minoso, this is kind of cool. He gets 150 hits from the New York Cubans from 46 to 48. He has now surpassed 2,000 hits, 21-13 for him. Yeah. And Jackie Robinson, 49 hits with the Kansas City Monarchs in 1945, gets his total up to 1,567. Amongst pitchers, the main one here, the great Satchel Paige, gained 28 wins, raising it. This is so weird. Satchel Paige, Jason, won 125 games, right? Satchel Paige, like, played till he was 80, I feel like. How the hell do you only have 125 wins? Not that. I feel like Satchel Paige.
Live ball era.
Right? Like, I felt like Satchel Paige. If you'd asked me before today, how many career wins did Satchel Paige have? I would have said like 450.
Right.
You know?
You know what would have been interesting is you said there's a few additions on to Hank Aaron if he had repassed Bonds. I mean, he didn't, but that would have been interesting.
I think that's the thing. Look, I'm not going to lie here. I do think, for example, if you had the Pete Rose record, the Bonds record, you know, if you had a major record that would now change, I do think the conversation behind this would change a little bit too. It just would add a little bit more controversy to it. It says here, I mean, this was a long project that took over 4 years. The guy who ran the committee said, for example, a 4-homer game by Josh Gibson in 1938 and a home run by Willie Mays in August of 48 couldn't be included because complete game accounts have not been found. So they said, quote, without a box score, we can't really balance the statistics. Those games are kind of in limbo at the moment. Records include the first Negro National League from 1920 to 31, the Eastern Colored League from 23 to 28, the American Negro League in 29, and then 4 other leagues going all the way to 48. Some game details were obtained from newspapers that covered black communities. They said complete accounts were found for about 95% of the games in the 20s, but coverage dropped off during the Great Depression in the 1930s and never fully recovered. So these numbers, whatever they are, you can pretty much guarantee that there's actually more than what was there originally.
Sure. Good for them, though. Good for baseball.
Good for baseball. And, Yes, I'm here for the ding dongs on social media that are, it's some of the dumbest arguments ever. It's like, guys, again, I get it to a point until you realize that the Negro Leagues were every bit as good, if not better, than Major League Baseball. Like, get over it. No, they're not going to add in the Japanese League. No, they're not going to add in the ABA, the NBA. And these are all different things. Again, these are people that were barred from playing Major League Baseball because they were black, not because they weren't good enough or because they had 3 toes or because God knows whatever. They lived in a different country. They were simply barred because of the pigment of their skin. So it is a wrong turned right. Good for baseball. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's check in on baseball after 2 months. They say, Jason, after Memorial Day is when you can finally start checking baseball stats. That's
We're
a
almost
rule.
there.
We are almost there. As a matter, actually,
we are there.
We are there. We're past.
Yeah,
there.
we are there.
We are. Hey, we'll be right back in just 1 minute.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, Jason. Guess what Chris just said?
What do you say?
Chris just said he thinks Kyrie's better than Luka right now.
That was a hallway conversation yesterday from our guy.
I said Kyrie's got a better career.
Oh, is that what you said?
Well,
oh, I thought you said he's a better. I thought I heard you say you think he's.
I said he's got the better career right now.
Oh, I thought you said you thought he was a better player right now. That's what I thought I heard you say. You said career. Oh yeah, no career. Yeah, no, I agree with that. He's got a ring. Yes.
Yeah.
He's got. And by the way, a lot of people have a ring and Luka doesn't, but Kyrie has a ring that he was a very big part of.
He has a ring because of how he plays.
Yeah. No, okay, I agree with that. I thought you said he's a better player than Luka.
And I said that Luka's best chance of getting a championship is because of Kyrie.
Well, I think Luka's best chance of winning a championship is because of Luka first. I think Kyrie.
Because he's done so well in the playoffs before that.
Well, but I understand that, and I'm not saying that Kyrie is certainly not helping. But I think if the Dallas Mavericks win a title this year, it's going to be mostly because of Luka.
Yeah, it's always a tough debate, right? Because you look at a guy like Durant, who joined the Warriors and got 2 championships, but he was a huge reason why they won it, and he was the MVP in both those finals. But without that, he doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, exactly. This is a reverse KD situation.
Meaning
they came to him because I don't think Luka can move anywhere.
Subscribe to Sack.
Wow.
Even they're trying to get rid of me now.
Wait, you mean you don't think Luka can move to another team?
It was a fat joke.
Oh. My guy said he just tweeted the stats.
Yeah, did he tweet you the stats?
Haven't gotten them. I mean, I gave him my name. From the 916, I'll just bring this up because it's part of the conversation. Should they observe Japanese players who crossed over to the United States, which would make Ichiro the hit king? No, because it's not the same. It's a completely different league that they play in a different country. It's not because
Ichiro could have been here the whole time.
Correct. It's not because of
could he though? Aren't there like rules in place?
Are there?
I think so. Right?
I don't know.
You
about
can't
that.
just show up, right?
Why not?
Well, you got to be drafted or someone
Yeah.
accept you. Not drafted, but I think if he had made it clear that he was coming out here sooner than he did, I think he would have been picked up.
But in Japan, don't you go like pro like right after high school?
That I don't know.
Like who in baseball is going to come and get a high schooler from Japan in the early 2000s?
I'm trying to look and see here. Would he actually be the hit king?
Oh yeah.
Hold
I
on.
think so.
Yeah.
I want to say at the end of his career, like Seattle was like counting it.
800.
Because he had 3,000 plus here.
Yeah, he would have been. He had 3,089, and then I'm just doing some rough math here. He had like 400, 600, 750, 900. Yeah, he had well over. I think he had like 11 or 1,200 hits for Oryx in the Japanese league. So yeah, you had that. And what was it? 4,192, I think, for Pete Rose.
No, he had home runs.
You know what? That's a deep cut, and I hate you. I just don't like you at all right now. Baseball, Jason. Checking in. Well, I'll tell you this much: if the season started 2 weeks ago, the Giants are the best team. They're on their way to a World
In the
Series.
last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
10 of 12.
10 of 12 for the Giants. And when you take a look, we'll start with San Francisco. Look, they're not winning the NL West, barring, and hopefully this won't happen. But if, Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani and like three other Dodger players all crash into each other going for a fly ball and they're out for the year, maybe the Giants have a chance. But almost certainly the Dodgers, who weirdly enough, the Dodgers are 35-22, Jason. They're, just a few games behind the Yankees and Phillies and Guardians, who we'll get to in a second for best record in the league. But they haven't even really gotten hot yet.
No, they just came off a bad stretch, too. I think before that doubleheader win yesterday, I think they'd lost 5 or 6 in a row. So it's one of their worst stretches as this group's been put together. But still, with all that, nice comfortable lead in the NL West.
Yep, 5.5 games on the Giants and Padres. The Giants are 29-27, the 2 games above 500, which I think is outpacing what we thought, which they'd be around a 500 team. They are still negative 14 in the run differential, but who cares about that if you're winning? They have won 8 of 10. They have an opportunity to sweep the best team in baseball record-wise in the Philadelphia Phillies today. And the Phillies have been the story of the season so far, 38-18. They have a 5-game lead on the Braves. The Braves losing Ronald Acuna Jr. earlier this week, which is obviously a massive blow to a perennial MVP caliber player not being on that team for the rest of the year. That's a thingy. But Jason, when you look at surprises, I think on the top end, I'm looking at the Cleveland Guardians sitting at 37-18 with a 3.5 game lead on the surging Royals. And by surging, they've lost 3 in a row. I mean, that franchise is on its way up. And really, that division, I mean, you got the Twins, but the Tigers, the White Sox, that is a bad division, dude.
But a bad division with 3 teams above 500, 1 right there, and then the White Sox are just awful. But good for the Guardians to kind of establish themselves as one of the surprises, like you said.
I completely agree. The Mariners are in a familiar spot at or near the top. They are currently 3.5 ahead of the Rangers. The Astros, I think, might be the most surprising team on the other end of the spectrum. I didn't expect them to be 24-31 2 months into the year.
No, but they've gotten better, too, because they're at the bottom of the division. They've passed the Angels. They've passed the A's. And because, no one's great in that division, they still have a shot to, 8 straight years I think they've been in the ALCS, or 7. It's incredible what they've done.
No, I think you're right. And they went on a nice streak of 6 in a row, split between Detroit, Oakland, and Milwaukee. They've been kind of up and down since that 6-0 streak. And then the A's, look, it's tough grading the A's because they're 23-33. That's a 4.11 percentage. That's not good. That's a bad team. But it's better than what we thought they'd be.
Yeah, I agree. And they've been, they just got to keep going, keep trying to build. And, you kind of look at, not only teams, but individuals. Some of the things that stood out to me, Dave, are the fact that, in a time where you were just talking about Gibson and his career average, there's 11 players hitting above 300. That's it for all leagues, just both American and National League, 11 total. We're on pace to have multiple 20-game winners, which I don't think we've had that in a while. And then stolen bases are back for sure. Ellie De La Cruz already has 31, and we're not through that full second month of baseball. So, I mean, he's not in Ricky territory, but at this rate, he's going to get to about 90, which, I mean, for about the last 15 years, like a good number was 40.
Yeah. I mean, that, and they're sitting here on pace to win for the A's at least just over 66 games this year. So,
Nice.
Hey.
Nice.
Jason.
Yeah.
You know what I got?
What's that?
I got Kyle Draper's men's league stats.
Oh, there we go. They finally arrived. All right, let us know.
Finally arrived. Okay, so it looks like Kyle played, my guess is on my math here, he played in 4 games. And the reason I'm doing that, you can double check my math. He scored a total of 21 points.
Okay.
His average was 5.3 per game. So that would tell you 4 games, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm right there. Okay. So his field goals, he was 8 of 35. That's 23%. All right, so we got to bring that up a little bit. 3-pointers, he was 1 of 12.
Ooh.
So that's 8%.
Okay.
Free throws, much better percentage, 57%. He was 4 of 7. I mean, he was probably Kyle strikes me as kind of a Steph type, kind of outside shooter kind of guy. So not a lot of contact.
Yeah, but if he makes the next 3, then he's at 70%, and you're okay with that.
That's exactly right. But you know what? He hustled on the boards.
Okay.
He had 24 total rebounds. So check this out. That's 6 boards a game, Jason.
Okay.
So
get the guy in the paint, getting the rebound.
Get in the paint, big man.
Play a little devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He didn't have a great field goal percentage, correct?
Yeah.
How many of those rebounds are
offensive? 11.
11 offensive rebounds?
11 offensive rebounds, 24 total. So maybe a little. He wasn't afraid to dish the ball in 4 games. He had 3 assists. Not a big fouler. Averaged a little over a foul a game. And 2 turnovers. He had 8 total, so he wasn't loose with the ball. We didn't get any steals or blocks out of Kyle in the league, but that he played for. Yes, that's his full pro. I want to be careful here. I'm sure he wouldn't care. I don't want to say who he played for because I don't know if that. I don't want to give anything away as far as privacy goes, but we got his
Milwaukee Bucks, ironically.
Oh, was it? It was okay.
Yeah.
So
he said it's okay for me to say.
Yeah, Doc didn't really take care of him very well.
Kyle. And by the way, just in case you're out of again, I want to reiterate, just so it's not taken out of context here. We are not we are not clowning. We are hat tipping here,
celebrating
because you know what, the world is full of these sports media guys, and they talk about sports all the time, but they don't play them. Here's our guy out there in the trenches, playing the game that he talks about, putting his rebounds where his mouth is, and we appreciate that. I mean, again, maybe work on the threes, but. Hey,
and the assist to turnover.
What do we have here? 3 assists to 8 turnovers. That's it's about what, 2.5 to 1? Yeah, maybe work on that. We'll take a break. When we come back, as we wrap up the program, what to watch, and then we got crosstalk with Styles and Watkins. Before that, though, a word from Gonzalez Law next.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hey, do you have something from your past that may be holding you back personally, maybe even professionally? Maybe it was a mistake that you made a long time ago, years ago. That's all happened to us. We were young and Maybe that mistake, though, is still following you to this day. Well, how would you like that removed from your record? For whatever reason, you might need that removed. You may want it removed. You want that clean start. Well, the Gonzalez Law Offices can help you with many things, but maybe you need help with something like this, as they do expungements, and they help you get that fresh start that you're actually looking for. Jonathan Gonzalez and his law offices are in the heart of downtown, and he's here to help you out. He's local. He's not going through these cases in a hurried fashion. He cares about the results. He cares about you. He'll sit down with you, talk to you about what's going on, and he's here to help, like I said, right here in our community. And the point is, if you want someone you can trust and someone that's willing to go to bat for you with whatever situation you may be in, and you feel that you need someone to represent you, I say go to saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. That's saclegaldefense.com at 916-304-9187.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, one of the quirky things about the A's record so far is the way the A's have played a third of the way into the season against the National League. Yes, they haven't played the Phillies or the Dodgers or the Giants, but still, the A's are 10-5 against the senior circuit, minus 16 against the American League. And speaking of the Dodgers, they come to the Coliseum the first weekend in August.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. $12,000 off every Silverado LT 5.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price. Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Best rate in 2010 model year or newer. N6324.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
The Smiths. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Welcome in. Welcome in. Carmichael Dave. Jason Ross from the 916. Dave, be careful. Kyle is going to find your golf scorecards and put you on blast. Well, I mean, I would say this. We've done enough of that. I don't think there's any putting us on blast. When you come on and say that you lost 17 balls and 18 holes once, it's like Eminem when he had that final rap battle and he just gave all the material to the other guy already. That's kind of how we are. Although Kyle and I haven't played golf together. He did play, I think his group once was in front of my wife and son at Winchester.
Oh, that's right.
Back in the day.
That's right.
Yeah, but Kyle and I have never played. We got to change.
I played with him once.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was fun.
Is he so you've played with both of us. Who has the worst golf temper?
I've never played with you when you had a bad temper.
Aha.
And I think Kyle
the
same.
Yeah.
There was nothing where I would say if you never told me you had a golf temper, or if Kyle, I don't know that he does because I didn't see anything.
Gotcha. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll bet you Kyle's not a club thrower. I'm not anymore, but
anymore. Weren't you like 3 times ago?
Yeah, but that was in another lifetime, Jason.
Alex English would tell you you're a club thrower.
I let go of my 7-iron and accidentally hit Alex English Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I know. Oh, who's that on the hotline? Oh, it's the voice of the Sacramento Kings. That's Kyle Draper. Good morning, Kyle.
What's up, fellas? You disturbed me from my coffee. I'm sitting here enjoying a nice view out of the backyard, and I hear we want to talk about my golf game, my basketball game. I'm not ready for this smoke, Carmichael Dave and Jason. I'm not ready for this morning.
I mean, we're big fans, Kyle. That's all I got to say. I mean, Whitey's fine, but we're big fans of the afternoon show, and we're big fans of yours. And you've got a mole because somebody in the building sent me very professional-looking box score style stats for one Kyle Draper in the men's league, and we spent the last segment kind of going through them, reading them off, percentages, all that, and and I made it very clear. I said, look, we're not clowning at all. The fact that you're out there and you're playing says more about you than us, but I just wanted you to know your stats are out there. You know.
If you're a fan of the Drive Guys afternoon show, you know we don't pay attention to the box scores, Dave and Jason. We're not boxing. We don't look at the stats like that. We look at the impact on the game, the eye test, if you will, not the final numbers. Those aren't important. It's how you impact the game. So I don't even know my stats. What am I averaging? About 15 a game, something like that?
Close. You're averaging 5.3. And although your splits are 23, 8, and 57, which some might say, isn't great, I would say this: you're averaging 6 rebounds a contest, Kyle, which tells me even though you're not getting to the line a lot, so for you 4 of 7 from the line over 4 games. But what you're doing is you're following your shots and you're getting in with the big guys and you're competing. And I think that counts.
Exactly. I like to consider myself the Karl Anthony Towns of my team. I had a bad series, bad first few games, but you saw the way Cat responded last night. We play again tomorrow night. I guarantee I'll have a better game. Those numbers will be up. Okay. And so me and Karl Anthony Towns were sort of similar in the way we've been playing lately.
So Kyle, the draft is coming up, and there's a lot of draft reports where people say strengths, people say weaknesses. They're breaking these guys down. So I'm going to give you the floor to say strengths of your game and weaknesses of your game.
Yeah, good question.
Ooh, strengths of my game. Basketball IQ. High basketball IQ. Good. LeBron James,
good.
Call me Rondo out there. The basketball IQ is unmatched. The problem is I'm more like Oliver Miller in my conditioning. You know what I mean? You remember Oliver Miller's action?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to get my conditioning up, fellas. That's my weakness right now, my conditioning. Now, if I was in peak physical condition, I would say, my mid-range game, sort of like Rip Hamilton. But right now, man, 3 or 4 minutes up the court, I'm gassed. And so I will say this about the league. It's a 35 and over league. Fellas, I'm 49. I'm about to be 50 next year. I'm playing against young 35-year-old. So I'm not out there trying to, dominate. I'm just trying to play a solid floor game and help my team win.
Well, I think the greatest thing about Oliver Miller, I forget who said it once, but they said he's the luckiest guy in the NBA because he gets to wear his picture on his back because his number was 8, which I still think is one of the best lines I've ever heard. I also mentioned, Kyle, that I said you're not some joker out there on the floor. I still remember, I don't know if it was grainy or black and white, but I believe there's footage of you and Brian Scalabrine on the court together. So it's not like you don't have a background, not just playing basketball, but playing basketball with NBA caliber players.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Dave. I may talk a good game, but in my prime, I was able to back it up, played pickup with Scal, with summer league teammates with Rasheed Wallace back in the day, and during my heyday. And my claim to fame, that video you're talking about, I took a charge on Scal. They called it a blocking foul, though, but it was really a charge.
Yeah.
And I got up and lived to tell about it. And I will say this about my Lifetime League on Thursdays. I think I'm the only person in the entire league this season that has taken a charge. See, that doesn't show up in the box score, Dave. That doesn't show up in the box score, fellas. But I took a charge one time. So, that basketball IQ, I'm telling you, it's there, man.
How's your defense? I mean, right there, you're saying you're taking charges. So how are you defensively?
I got that old man defense. I'm grabbing, holding, the arm bar, the hand check that's not allowed anymore. Like, I'm more of that kind of defender. But like I said, it's all about conditioning.
Yeah.
My team has struggled lately. It's because other teams are better conditioned than us. Give me another couple of weeks. I'll be in a little bit better shape, and you'll see those numbers go up.
That's Kyle Draper enjoying his offseason. Is he sitting on his haunches? Is he lazing around the house? No. What is he doing? He's in the weight room. He's out there on the floor. He's improving his game, and hopefully that transfers into the play-by-play, and that will help us get over the top and get into the playoffs next year. Of course, I'm talking about the Kings, Kyle. I see what you're doing here.
Exactly, and you know how it is, fellas. We don't just talk sports. We are athletes. We don't just talk a good game. We actually play the games. Whether it's golf, basketball, we're out there in the streets on the field. And so we're not just studio gangsters, if you will. We're out there competing as well. So
okay. Well, we apologize for disturbing you from your coffee. We look forward to listening to you this afternoon with our guy Whitey Gleason as you take the mantle from Styles and Watkins each and every day to anchor our coverage 6 to 6. And don't be a stranger, my man. Congratulations. And we're looking forward to the updated stats.
All right, fellas. Thanks for having me on, man. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yep.
He's a good sport.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we play the game, Jason.
Of course we do.
That's what we do. You know what the kids say, Jason? We stand on business. That's what we do.
That's we've been saying that for a long time.
We stand on business, no cap.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
When we come back,
I pay my taxes.
Styles and Watkins next.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumber yard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
The Summer Starts Here sales event is on now through Memorial Day at your Toyota dealer. Take advantage of great deals on Toyota's entire lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, drive into the season of fun in a new Toyota and get low 3.99% APR financing on Highlander. Or check out great lease deals on Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. Hurry, Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event ends soon. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available on 2024 models through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Excludes hybrids. N6324.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
We see a lot of news about teens vaping, but teens see something else. Videos on social media that glamorize it and downplay the dangers of nicotine. How can parents talk so kids will listen? Use facts. 1. Nicotine can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can make teens more anxious. 3. Changes to the brain can be permanent. So even when it hides behind a new look, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area, A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Hey!
Jason, hey, look, everybody, it's Jason.
Hey! What's up, Jason?
We have Kyle Draper's men's league stats that we just went over with.
Yes.
Somebody snuck those to us.
Briefly
If you want to, spend a few segments on
Yeah.
that, just break. You got to work on his percentages.
Yeah, those splits.
Splits are rough.
I think you said 8?
8 from 3, 8%.
Oof.
Yeah, it was like
8%. That means volume.
Yeah. Well, he was. It was like 20.
Made his last one though.
Well, that sounds like the only
did.
one he's made. If he's made 8%.
Splits are 23, 8, and 57.
23?
23. He's
Probably like Angel Reese out there.
8
My
of 35. But he came on and he said, "Look, I'm getting in game shape." He said, "Much
but
like
the league is happening right now."
Well,
Okay.
He said, "Much like Carl Anthony." So he's
Details.
like he's Kyle Anthony Towns. He's trying to get it together. And
I like that.
by the way, earlier I never realized that Carl Anthony was a dash.
That's his first name.
I didn't realize.
Yeah,
I never
his
realized
last
that.
name is Towns.
So we started looking for are there other so like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mary Kate Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one, Jason? Jean-Luc Picard was yours, but that's a fake name.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one more that we.
there was another one.
Mark Paul Gosselar from
yes,
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
This is the type of work we do on the morning show, fellas.
That's right.
Not even in
stuff.
not even in the stuff. So how are you?
Great.
Yeah. What's new? Anything?
With me, personally?
Yeah. Why not? I'm asking you.
Just getting ready for the show today.
Okay.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Another draft pick.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mike Brown convo, and honestly, with Jimmy Butler asking for a max extension, why is it that certain guys are considered winners even when they want money, but other guys are selfish, a la Bradley Beal and players like that?
But he's not a winner, though, right?
What did Jimmy win?
Didn't Jimmy win a title? Didn't he?
No.
He got close.
No. Got close.
Yeah, close.
Yeah.
He won a lot of
Taking
games.
2 teams to the finals. Yeah.
Taking 2 teams to the finals.
God, I'm so glad we dodged that Bradley Beal bullet, though. Man.
Oof. My goodness. No trade clause.
I think this Mike Brown thing's going to get done soon. I'm sticking to my guns on that.
Well, it's starting to really catch fire. I mean, every Kings article that comes out is including the Mike Brown side of it. So it's not good.
It may or may not. I got to be careful here. It may or may not matter. But okay, let's pretend that baseball. Okay, let's pretend that negotiations are like a baseball game. And you know how you have the starting pitcher and then the middle reliever and then the closer.
Right.
I think the closer's about to come in. The closer's been gone. I found this out yesterday. Closer's not been around. I think closer's coming in. And
do you think it's a bad look at all, assuming Mike Brown's camp leaked this information, if you will? Do you think it's a bad look?
Well, I'll start by saying I don't think Mike Brown's camp leaked the information.
Okay.
Because it came from Woj. Generally, Woj's team. Generally, Woj's team source. Not that he doesn't have camp sources. Don't get me wrong. And Mike Brown's agent is Warren Legary. It's Warren Legary, who is George Karl. He's the biggest coach agent there is. If it was, and again, this isn't exact, but generally, if it's Shams, that's going to be agent camp. If it's Woj, generally it's team camp.
So if the closer wasn't here, why would the team put out this information?
It's a good question, and I don't know if it's a leverage situation. And again, I don't want to. There's no way for me saying this without sounding presumptuous. But you remember, Ham said the thing, and then I said the thing, and then the next day Woj said the thing, and I don't know if those had anything to do with it. And I certainly don't think anything we reported would have affected negotiations in any way. It was just weird that those three things happened, kind of in succession of each other. It's a negotiation. It's just unfortunate that it went public. And yeah, it's a bad look. And I think they'll get it done. And I think in the end, it'll be like, no, a lot of this is blown out of proportion, but they also have to be careful because again, this is where I get fascinated. Jason, you know this. I'm fascinated by this aspect of NBA media because they have to be careful to not say too much that it was blown out of proportion, because what happens? You piss off Adrian Wojnarowski, make him look bad. And Adrian Wojnarowski is like top 5 most powerful person in the NBA.
Right.
Like legitimately, it's like Worldwide West, Rich Paul, Adam Silver. Woj is up there because he can destroy people. So it'll be interesting. I do think they're going to – I can't imagine a world where they go into this season with this voluntarily hanging over their heads.
Yeah. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make sense. Did you happen to hear, when was that, Chris?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We played the clips from my pump up speech.
Oh my God.
And Chris couldn't handle
it. You couldn't handle it?
It's incredible. It is top tier.
Wait, who said, was that you, Jason?
Yes. On the count of one. On the count of,
Do we have any of these in the system?
Oh, Nate's not. No.
I think Nate had them all.
These should be publicly accessible.
It was on our Twitter. It was on our X.
It was on screen. When you say RX, what do you mean? Like the shows, the station X?
That was a lot better than I thought I was. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh my God. I like the countdown though.
Yeah, the countdown makes it.
It sounds like a ghost in like a 90s.
You just passed it.
I did.
Like a Scooby-Doo type of thing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Chris, I have an assignment for you. Would you mind between today and tomorrow getting a hold of that audio and let's have a little fun with it.
Let's scream.
That's good. I feel like we could remix that into something.
Oh man. I'm saying it sounds like the PA announcer where they do the threes.
Yeah,
like,
well, because naturally when you get excited, if it's taken out of context, it gets you'll get sing-songy. I don't know if you've ever known. Like Gary Gerald's the best play-by-play guy, I think, in the history of the world, right? But if you notice, if like sometimes when he gets on an excited rant, he'll be like, "Hey, he's got the bucket, doobie boop bop," and it's almost a sing-songy way of delivery. If you listen, you're not going to be able to unhear it now when you listen.
Sure.
And I'm not going to be able to say "scream" again.
Yeah, no, never again.
Well, if they have another one of those movies out, they might. That's right. Option
That's right.
This summer, get ready for Scream 5. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than crumble cookies.
It would be Scream 7, Dave. I just need to
Scream 7, excuse me. All right.
Oh, man.
Who's turning what and where? For who and
Okay,
how?
happy birthday, guys, to Carmelo.
Ooh.
Anthony.
Bars.
Jensen.
Hayes.
Carmelo Tony. Carmelo was 19 when he came in. I'm going to nail this, though. He's 40 today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's 40.
Yeah.
Came out of Syracuse as a freshman.
Yep.
I believe he was 19 his rookie year. That was the 03 draft?
03.
39.
Yeah. Wow. What a guess. 39.
39?
He's 40.
I think it's 40.
We have a correct answer. 40.
Oh, sad face.
Chris and Dave. Verlot and Dave.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Torme.
Kuiper.
Stottlemyre.
Low Anthony.
Gibson.
Melissa, my wife. Mel Gibson.
B from the Spice Girls.
Oh.
Melb.
Mel B.
I thought that was her name. Melb. Mel B is 44.
Good guess. 44. 45. It was such
46.
a good guess. Such a good guess.
She's 50.
Wow.
Chris Verlot is closest. 49.
Wow, she's old.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Austin
Powers.
Rivers.
Austin Reeves
is
I'm
correct.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves.
Go Billy Mamba.
Austin Reeves is 27.
28.
26.
26.
We have a correct answer. Both Chris's. 26.
Wow. Good for you guys.
Happy birthday, Puka.
Nakua.
We saw him in
Hey,
Vegas.
let's get it.
Did, yeah. I saw him like twice.
Puka Nakua is 26.
Puka Nakua. 25.
24.
I think you're right.
24.
I think I went too high.
24.
We don't have a correct answer. Alan and Chris Verlot are the closest. 23.
Wow. Wait, is he 23 or was he 23?
How about Daniel Tosh?
I saw he has, just like everybody, he's got he's doing the podcast thing. I hadn't heard of that guy in years.
Yeah, what happened to Daniel Tosh?
Tosh.0?
Daniel Tosh is 50.
That's probably right.
Probably
51.
Right. I'll say 46.
47.
We got a tie. Well, let's see. No, who said 50?
I did.
I said 49.
You're closest. 49.
Yeah.
Oh, you said 49?
No, I said 51.
Damn it. I mean, good.
Let's see who else we got. One more left. Let's see. You guys want Paul Skeens or Markel Fultz or Rafe LaFrance?
Any of the
Let's
above.
go Rafe LaFrance because it's the most rando.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember Rafe LaFrance, wasn't he the one that bricked the elbow pass from Jason Williams in the All-Star game?
Yes.
Wasn't it Rafe?
Yeah.
That's what I know him for. Rafe LaFrance is 46.
It's a good guess.
48.
Yeah, that's another one. I'll say 50.
49.
We have a correct answer, and it's Scream! Alan Styles, 48.
All right, so Minnesota won. We got a heavyweight fight in December.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about the Negro Leagues being integrated into MLB statistics.
Yep.
But what are you guys going to talk about?
What are you going to talk about? I'm just giving them material.
All that and more.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, can they do the unthinkable? And later in the show, around 12 o'clock, 12:30, we are breaking down, as you watch the playoffs, what should the Kings players be working on their game?
Okay, well, for Chris Verlot, for Kyle Draper, for Jason Ross, and me, I'm Carmichael Dave. Styles and Watkins next.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line.